All right. Welcome in. Yeah, found us once again. Shoot the Gap, a rabbit hole fantasy football focused show here to help you to be gruntled with your fantasy football team and your fantasy football decisions. We are back. Yes, I know it's been a long off season. We only popped in from time to time when there was some interesting news that popped up, and there was a little bit. But now, training camp's happening. Hard Knocks is about to come on. So, yeah, man, it's fantasy football time. So we are back here to help. We're going to be doing one show a week right now. But then when this season kicks off, we will do two shows. Two. Oh, look at that. 2 rings. Yeah, that's new. That's new for this season.
I can do that too. Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah.
Welcome to the club, buddy.
Look
Feels
at that.
good, doesn't it?
Wow. Yeah, just the way that works out. Okay, yeah, we'll be doing 2 shows. 2 shows a week once the season starts. Yeah, it is my pleasure, my honor to introduce to you Brock, the Commissioner Seguin. How you doing, Brock?
I'm good. Living. I made it through the off season, and now here we are. Training camp has begun. As I've said before, it's the greatest time of the year.
Yeah.
How are you all doing?
Oh yeah, dude. Well, we're doing fine. I don't think I introduced myself. Baby. Yeah, I'm Brian, the Amigo Baldwin, and of course the guy in the dark over there wearing the Texans hat. That is none other than Connor, the Marshall. How you doing, Connor?
It feels good to be the sole representative of H-Town on this show. I got the hat on, my lucky hat that God gave me that I just found in the street one day. I got my H-Town flag behind me. I got the Rockets, the Texans, the Astros, and I'm here. And we did a mock, guys, and we had fun, and I'm so excited to go over it and talk about the rest of the news today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is our 113th show, August 2nd, in this hopeful year of our Lord. And, it's been 3 months since our last show. And, like Connor was saying, today, we'll be going over some news because there's some interesting news that happened. And also, before the show, we did a mock draft. And the reason why we did it this way, I know normally we do live mock drafts, and we might actually do that. But this way, we were able to think about our picks instead of getting stuck on analysis. And also, we were able to kind of just focus. That was the main thing, right? The main thing was focus, and then we're going to talk about the picks. We're going to talk about our biggest surprise in each round. So stay tuned for that. So, before we do that, we always like to thank the supporters of the show.
Woo!
High Volume Music Radio.
Shout out.
Sports Host app.
Hell yeah.
Connor, why don't you get us started, brother?
Yeah, Sports Host app, they've been day ones with us, so we really do appreciate it. Download Sports Host, link is in the description if you haven't tried it out. It's a really cool sports app that has a real, positive fan base. They transcend the troll over there. And, download it. Brian, you wanna get our other sponsor?
Oh, yeah, man. High Volume Music Radio. Yes, make sure and download that free app. You get a lot of shows like Andrew B's Vocal Sounds, Rock and Roll. Radio access granted. What's on your mind with Aunt Boogie? Blame it on the boogie. And, of course, Drive Time Sports with Charlie and Brian. And you know what, man? I found out yesterday or last week that our day that we do our show on Thursdays from 4 to 6, that is like the most listened to day of the whole, the whole week for that radio station. So highvolumemusicradio.com, and of course download that free app, High Volume Music Radio. If it ain't high volume, help us out here, Brock. Come on, you know it.
It ain't loud enough.
There you go, my brother. There you go. All right. So let's go ahead and let's start off with some news.
Good news. No good news is good news. You ain't got any blues if you ain't got any news. Ha!
I bet you guys didn't miss that, huh? Yeah, good old Gary Good News. All right, so let's start with the gargantuan news from yesterday. NFL disciplinarian officer Sue L. Robinson has spoken. Apparently, she has said that it's better to violate a woman's rights than gamble. After months of speculation and watching the Browns players' ADPs go up and down more than a rabbit on Ritalin, It has been decreed that Deshaun Watson will be only suspended for 6 games. The NFL has 3 days to appeal the decision, but the NFLPA has already said that they will abide by the judge's decision. So as of right now, guys, it seems that like his massages, this story has a happy ending for Watson. Thoughts on it?
And you told me we weren't going to be ugly on the show. That is beautiful. So he's still a Brown, right? He's still on the Browns, right? Nothing.
Yeah,
Shit.
he is.
Fuck, man. So that really, the AFC West really is the best football division, not only this year, but that theoretically, that we've seen in a long time. Because we got Deshaun, the Browns, and then we still got, B-Funk's Broncos, and then the Chargers and the Chiefs. So there's 4 teams that think they can. No, the Broncos.
So,
I'm mixing up the divisions. The AFC North is still a good one too, though, because you got the Browns, Steelers. Yeah, that's probably the second best one. Yeah, you got the Ravens, you got the Bengals. The Bengals are my favorite to win the division.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of discussions on that, but as far as winning the decision, but let's talk about now. Now that Deshaun Watson will be out for 6 weeks, okay, for the first 6 weeks, Brock. Talk about it, man. How do you thinking about Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Amari Cooper? What do you think, man? I mean, are their ADPs going to rise? They fall? Should they rise? I mean, what do you think, dude?
Well, first of all, it is a man's world, and if you haven't seen the last 5 years and the way we do things, we can spin it all away. Okay, I saw an article that states that because Calvin Ridley is getting 6 games. It's because
Calvin Ridley.
Or he's getting. I think he's getting the year. Sorry, he's getting the year because of betting on the NFL, and they're like that violates the integrity. Okay, because it has something to do with football operations. It violates the integrity of their behavior model. And then, of course, Alvin Kamara is going to get 6 games. That's who's getting it, 6 games.
Now, I think he should get more than 6 games. I used to really love Kamara.
We're talking to Deshaun Watson here, brother.
No, I know. I'm saying Kamara should get more than 6
we'll talk. Okay, we'll talk about Kamara a little bit later.
Sorry.
Okay, he's on the docket. He's on the docket.
How I'm rounding it about is that Deshaun Watson, if he gets 6 games, how do you explain that away? And that's why I said, it's a man's world. We can spin anything away. And so Deshaun Watson, because he's so good for football, we saw what he did in his career thus far. I mean, 2020 was his best year yet. I mean, I think he accounted for something like 5,300 yards, and something like 40 touchdowns. I mean, not to mention the ones that he ran in. So, I mean, he's lights out. So they're going to do everything they can to try to make this look right to the world and also benefit their business model.
It's all about the money, man. Whenever they say words like integrity, they're talking about the money. They're not talking about morals.
They're already saying that Kamara is supposed to get 6 games. And I mean, if he gets 6 games, and so does Deshaun Watson, I mean, come on, wouldn't you think that New Orleans fans would be a little bit butthurt about that? I mean,
Kamara, to be fair, Kamara and his posse put someone in a hospital.
Yeah. Okay. Stop. Hang on, guys. Let's stay focused. We'll talk about Kamara in a little bit. Let's talk about Nick Chubb.
Has probably putting a lot of women in the hospital, but into having to go into an office where they have to sit and they've got to talk about it.
Yeah. No, Brian's right, but this is the thing that we have to remember. I've like a third of my character on this show is literally just Ben Roethlisberger jokes, and I've gone a really long time in this conversation without mentioning him. That's the real precedent setter, and that's why Watson is getting what he's getting, because Ben Roethlisberger didn't get anything, and he did it twice.
Yeah.
So that's why. Because the way the legal system works is it's, when a precedent is set, it kind of follows that unless something really radical happens. And, this was an opportunity for something radical to happen, but obviously it didn't. And we have the 6-game suspension.
24 women. It's a lot of women, man. And non-violent, they say.
Yeah,
So,
man. But okay, so I'll jump in since you guys are kind of dancing around it. So I think that Nick Chubb, man, I think that Nick Chubb is actually he's being drafted in the second round.
You think
I
he's an
think that's great.
RB1?
Yeah. Even though he's already showed before that, even though he's not really the pass catching back, dude, whenever he gets loose, he takes off. And for the first 6 games, this is going to be a run first team. So, and I would say even further because when you're talking about you're going to be out 6 games, that's great. But he's also going to be Deshaun Watson when he comes back. He's going to be facing defenses that have been playing and gelling at NFL level for at least 6 weeks, like in the NFL fire, right? And dude, he's going to be coming in. He hasn't played in a year. Okay, he has not played in a year. He's going to be coming against already prime defenses. All right, and so just think about this. Okay, when he comes back, okay, he'll be taking on the Ravens in Week 7, the Bengals in Week 8, okay, which is Halloween, and then the Dolphins in Week 9. Okay, that's what he's going to be coming back to. These defenses are going to be pumping, so I think it's still going to be a run-focused team, even whenever he comes back. Maybe later on towards the tail end of the year, you'll see it get more pass-focused. But, dude, Nick Chubb, I think he's really getting poo-pooed a lot because of the whole, I don't catch anything, but dude, he's shown that he can produce well, win games for you if you have him on your team. So at least for the first 6 weeks, guaranteed, it's going to be Nick Chubb. And then Kareem Hunt.
Can I tell you guys, I'm not saying that I think the Houston Texans had, that spectacular run game in a long time, but, Deshaun Watson had like 450 yards rushing. He's had almost 500, if not more, in each of the 3 seasons he's played a full season at, and accounted for several touchdowns per season just rushing. So I'm not saying this is like the most outstanding news for Chubb when he comes back, especially. I mean, it'll open a lot of things up, and hopefully the run game more than anything, especially for those Nick Chubb fans. But yeah, I see what you're saying. He is going. He went pretty early in the second round of a 10-man. So I mean, it's got to favor Chubb a bit, but still, I think there's don't get too excited is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and dude, I have to remind you, those stats that you're bringing up are fantastic. But this is a guy that had a full training camp, okay, with the team. Okay, so and he started the season when everybody else did, when they're trying to fill themselves out, started priming up, and then like clashing and grew as the season went, and as got more and more battle hardened. Dude, he's jumping straight in the middle of the season with these defenses. It's going to be tough. Okay, at least for the first couple of weeks. I'm off of Deshaun Watson. I mean, I know that a lot of people are like, oh, I could hate. He'll be the guy who comes in later in the season. You might be right on that. But then you're looking at a roster clog, okay? A guy that's just going to be sitting there on your roster, taking up a space during one of the most important, I would say, other than this time of the year, the first month of the season is one of the most important, or if not the most important time of the fantasy season. That's when all these people are breaking, these ones that you didn't see that went undrafted. These are when exploding. You're going to be holding on to Deshaun Watson? No, man. I'm not. I'm off of him. But I still think Nick Chubb's going to do well. I think Kareem Hunt's going to do well. Amari Cooper, he's tied to Deshaun Watson because you're looking at Jacoby Brissett, man. Jacoby Brissett is not going to make Amari Cooper worth that. That
He's
round
gonna
that you got to grab
upset.
him. Hey, there you go, Gaducci. Yeah, so I think that running backs up. Let me ask you guys. We already know Amari Cooper's a wide receiver 1 there, right? Who's going to be wide receiver 2? Daniel Peoples-Jones. Njoku. Okay. Is that your call too, Brock?
I mean, I see Peoples-Jones. I mean, I trust Peoples-Jones, but Schwartz is their supposed 2 there.
Historically, Deshaun Watson likes Historically, Deshaun Watson likes throwing to the tight ends. He never had a stud tight end in Texas to throw to. That could be different now.
Yeah, and he got the bag over the offseason, so yeah, that's a good call. But as far as
play out, sure, yeah, Njoku wins on this quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they all hurt for the first several weeks, so
no, you're right. Yeah, but he's pretty cheap, so it would be a good maybe like backup tight end. Maybe you go like Kittle or Hawkinson or even Gesicki, and you want kind of a depth guy behind them, and then you go with Njoku.
Yeah, because you grab him in your last pick of the draft, and that's a
Yeah.
throwaway anyway.
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
could change because of the hype train. Speaking of the hype train, let's keep this train moving along.
Moving on, well, the Brinks truck finally backed up to the home of Deebo Samuels, the star weapon wide receiver, and the 49ers have agreed to a 3-year extension worth $73.5 million max and $71.55 million in total. There's a whopping $58.1 million guarantee, and he will receive an extra $650,000 if he reaches 380 yards rushing seasons in a season. He reached 365 yards in 16 games last year.
Well, that answers my question about him rushing.
How about this? He also receives an additional $150,000 if he scores 3 rushing touchdowns in any single season. He had 8 last year.
You're making me want to draft him.
Yeah, dude. Like you and I talked about in the offseason, and you'll see when we do the mocks what happened. But yeah, Connor and I have not been. We've been, pretty much on the same level, man, about not wanting to draft him, thinking because, okay, he also came out and said that he was misquoted or something about him being upset about the role that he was using. He was used last year. This is, of course, after he signed, on the dotted line.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that it seems true to me that you can expect something similar to what you saw last year with Deebo Samuels.
Who is it?
Nick Wagner, Warner on Marcus Johnson led Ayuk and
You good?
Yeah.
Connor,
Yeah.
any thoughts on that since Brock's voice has turned into a lady's voice?
Yeah.
I'm just getting an update that there was a fight at 49ers training camp, and I was like, and it was Ayuk that was involved.
There was a fight.
So, yeah, like a nasty brawl,
Yeah.
like really nasty.
Hands. They did hands. I've never understood fighting with pads and helmets
Yeah.
on.
It's pretty awesome when you watch Andre Johnson do it. When Andre Johnson does it is the best thing ever.
What did he do though? He yanked the helmet off and went to business. But
Yeah.
most of these people, they keep all their pads on and they fight. What are you doing?
But yeah. But you said pads, not helmets. That's why I was like, man, when Andre Johnson. What's the next? Oh wait, we were talking about Deebo. I mean, yeah, I'd draft him in the 3rd. I don't know if I'd go. I might draft him in the 2nd. Fuck, gun to balls. I might draft him in the 2nd.
Yeah. It's he's probably going to do that. Right now, he's dropping to the early 3rd. But yeah, I see him just like Saquon. Saquon was on the 3rd, and now like stuff started coming out about Saquon. He's up into the 2nd round. Deebo Samuels is going to go into the 2nd, and I think that's probably where he deserves to be. What about you, Brock?
He's a keeper in my league, 12-man league.
Okay, so that means yes. That means yes on that.
Round. Basically, first round, middle first round.
He's gonna mac on that yak attack. That's a stat that you can bet on.
And just think about if Kittle, Kittle, he rarely lasts the whole season. So whenever he gets hurt,
That's
Samuel,
what she said.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. So yeah, okay, there we go. DK, moving on to DK, man. Seattle wide receiver DK Metcalf has agreed to a 3-year, $72 million contract extension to stay in the birthplace of grunge. It includes $58.2 million guaranteed with a $30 million signing bonus. So he had that foot issue, but he passed the physical, so it seems like
You know
that's
what?
over
Yeah,
with that.
sounds like they took one look at him and they said, "Come as you are."
Hey! I can't believe Brock didn't get that one. That definitely was set up for a guy that actually plays Kurt Cobain.
I'm sorry. I'm just, I could start coming up with Kurt Cobain jokes, but
Where do you draft him, Brock? Where do you think you should go?
Metcalf, I would. As late as you possibly can, because
Yeah.
unless they get Jimmy Garoppolo, which is another story in and of itself. If that quarterback play does not change immediately, I'm probably not even looking in the Seattle direction.
Obviously, if Jimmy G's there, I'd much rather have him quarterbacking because he can much more accurately overthrow DK Metcalf. Drew Lock, he's gonna very inaccurately overthrow him. But
yeah, I'm just saying
you'd at least feel better watching it. It's like it was close.
DK Metcalf, I would look at probably, in the later rounds if I could, and then I'd probably, he'd get stolen from me before I thought about maybe looking at him in the 4th round. I think that's okay value, because the way I see him, that's great. He got a 3-year, $72 million extension. He's joined the $20 million wide receiver club. He's got his acting debut next to Owen Wilson, and he's being featured in GQ, and it's good for him. But he also got into a fight, I think, because
That's DK.
DK.
Yeah.
He got into a fight today, I believe.
With
in
who?
camp.
What? DK Metcalf got into a fight?
People are getting into
something.
fights today, man.
I don't know, dude.
In the air, man. I think he just didn't like the fact that he's playing, acting with a Wilson brother. So I don't know. That might be it.
No, Owen Wilson would not
Maybe
be.
it
a good thing.
reminded him of his old quarterback, and that's what triggered.
Maybe they got into a fight
He
about a girl.
saw the name Wilson, and he got PTSD.
Yeah.
He's like,
Good-
man,
good
what the
try.
fuck? I gotta play with Drew Lock now.
Wow.
Hey, it could be very, 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 very real
I
scenario.
committed to the bit for that one. That was for you, Brian.
Yeah, I thank you, but I was still reeling from the witticism of Barack. Whenever,
What did he
I heard
say?
it, dude. I heard it.
What did you say? What did I miss?
You're gonna have to go back and listen to it. You got to no.
Fuck
it was
you.
It was a good one. It was a good one. No, dude,
Okay.
jokes like that are in the moment. They're in the moment. Yeah. So I think he's going like in the 6th or 7th round. So you're saying that's too early for him, guys?
I think it sounds like we're both saying we just don't want to draft him because we both know that there are going to be a run-first team. Pete Carroll was literally salivating at the mouth to set up his team to just run on all 4 downs every
Yeah,
possession.
they have barely improved their run scenario. They've got a rookie who might be able to do something, but it's still not going to be anything. I don't know if you still got
Penny's the
Carson.
guy.
and Penny.
Carson fucked his neck up, dude. He's done. That guy was injury prone. I called it. If you guys, OG fans of Shoot the Gap, I all year said that his trainer was gonna fuck him up and he was gonna get injured. He wouldn't last all season. That's what happened.
Ken
said that-
Walker.
But you
Ken
said the
Walker.
same thing about Koo, but Youngway Koo survived. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but he didn't play a full season. He was out for parts of it, and he hasn't been doing as good as he used to do before he got that trainer. To still make my point proven.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So.
So moral of the story: just stay away from Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless, dude, like he's getting down to like your wide receiver 5. You know,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I said, in the 5th or 6th round, he looks really attractive there.
I just said
Yeah.
6th or 7th, and you guys said that 6th or 7th.
I don't
is not-
want him in the 6th or 7th.
And now you're saying 5 or 6, Brock. So
I
hey,
know,
we got
7th. Late, just late. All right,
5 or 6 is late.
as
Okay.
late as you can get.
So what this means is, depending on how many drinks Barack has in him, will very grossly dictate how early he's willing to
Interesting.
commit to DK Metcalf.
Don't you guys do like a
No,
shot
I'm
around?
looking away from DK Metcalf. I told you, I'm looking away from him. I'm not drafting him.
Don't y'all do a shot around at your draft party,
Every
Brock?
other round, shot of Jaeger. Every other round.
Yeah, and if you make if you make a bad decision, you have to take a shot too, right?
Well, so
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, suspended, injured, retired, take a shot.
but my point is that what Connor said was true. The more alcohol you get in you, Brock, the more apt you are to draft him, which means that every 2 rounds you're getting more and more alcohol in you as the
Which
draft
means
goes.
by
works.
round
I got my
5
beer goggles
you're gonna
on.
get him. Yeah, by
What's
round
that?
5 you're gonna take that shot. You do have the beer goggles on, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Early today, the oft-forgotten but highly paid Denver wide receiver Tim Patrick was carted off the practice field early due to a knee injury. Now, of course, his head coach Nathaniel Hackett confirmed the knee injury after practice, and he got an MRI done. Out for the season. Torn ACL. Fellow wide receiver KJ Hamler was activated from the PUP list, and it is assumed that he'd take over for Patrick if he misses time. So, guys, I'll ask you first, Connor. Does this news change your opinion on either of the 2 highly drafted Denver wide receivers or on Hamler himself?
Yeah, I've been a Sutton guy all year, and we're gonna get more into that later. And this really doesn't change that.
What about Hamler? Do you think? Because there was a lot of talk about the the two wide receiver sets that Denver will probably be running based on their new head coach Hackett, from where he comes from. And so there was a lot of talk that when they do run those two wide receiver sets, it was going to be Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick, and that was an argument as to why you should not draft Jerry Jeudy and that you should draft Tim Patrick. With that in mind, do you think Hamler's going to take over that spot?
No, I think that's all bullshit, and I think that if look, that's cute and all, and I don't know who said that, but I think that they're just trying to make a name for themselves in fantasy. Yeah, this is what I think.
It was the number one podcast, fantasy football podcast that said it.
The Fantasy Footballers, yeah. Well, I love the Fantasy Footballers, and they did get me my first ring, and I did still listen to them when I got my second. So no disrespect, but I think that it's kind of a bad take.
They're listening right now.
Of course, they're listening to us. Why not? No, let me say this. The coach said that he's building the offense around Russell Wilson. What Russell Wilson wants, Russell Wilson gets. His budget is unlimited. And Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton are like upgrades from his guys that he had in Seattle, which were DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. So those are the two. I don't care what anybody says. Anything else, they're just trying to get cute. Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy are going to be the two wide receiver sets unless one of them gets hurt.
Okay.
The fantasy points breakout on this is with Russell Wilson. They're in town. Tim Patrick, he was slated. Last year actually he got 158, maybe 128 fantasy points, and that was standard scoring. And so now DK Metcalf got like 242 fantasy points last year with Wilson throwing to him. To put that into perspective, Cooper Kupp got 444 fantasy points overall last year, one of the best years any wide receivers ever had. And so now with Wilson in town, what could have Tim Patrick's numbers look like instead of 150 points, overall fantasy points? I would have said it would have probably looked more like 185 points. When you average that out over the whole season, I mean, you're still looking at a guy that's only going to give you 5 points maybe per game. And that's still being generous. I would think 3 because I think Sutton and Jeudy eat everything at this point. So, I mean, Patrick going out, it's sad. It's sad, but it's not like he was blowing it up anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
What I really think this is going to be is either Russell Wilson's throwing up bombs to Sutton, or he's scrambling and he's throwing to Jeudy, because I have a gut feeling that Judy's going to be more the guy that bails him out on those scramble play, kind of backyard football plays. If they're not doing that, I think they're going to be pounding with Gordon and Williams.
Javonte.
Javonte. And I think really the main midfield presence is going to be that Hamler, and I know Jeudy runs some of those routes too, and then the tight ends. I think it's going to be a lot of bombs. I really think Wilson's going to be taking advantage of the thinner, Colorado air, and he's going to be throwing it up, much like Peyton Manning did when he came to town. And if you look back at that year, Eric Decker and his name is eluding me. He's the Broncos receiver who passed away.
Oh, it's I know who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about.
One of the brothers, right? Anyway,
they both had great years that year. They both had great seasons.
Who eats now is KJ Hamler. Obviously, is going to sit in that spot.
He's going to be that 3. Yeah,
he's going to be that 3. But again, maybe Hamler shines. Who knows? But we don't know, because you don't know what you don't know.
But he's definitely worth a shot, because he's going pretty late in drafts. And you know what? So are Sutton and Jeudy, because right now, we can talk about that more whenever we get into this.
I would buy higher on Jeudy and Sutton at this point because of Wilson. I'm not saying Wilson was blowing it up either, but he's certainly an improvement over what they've been dealing with.
Agreed.
Yeah, and Connor, that was Demaryius Thomas.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Demaryius
Thomas. R.I.P. Demaryius Thomas.
Yes. It was a sad day for any Bronco fan and Texan fan. Yeah, because he
Yeah.
he did some time here in Houston also. I'm with you guys. I think that this is an argument for. I think it moves up Judy because there was a lot of people that were like I was saying that were thinking moving him down because of Tim Patrick. I don't think you just take Tim Patrick in and put KJ Hamler in there. Jerry Jeudy I think is now moved up, and like Connor accurately said, in my opinion, on two wide receiver sets you're going to see Smith. You're going to see Jeudy and Sutton. Yeah. All right, moving on. Minnesota Vikings tight end Irv Smith Jr. had surgery on his thumb on Tuesday, and head coach Kevin O'Connell said that he should be ready by the start of the season. Smith had left practice early Monday without any explanation, so this looks like to be it. The first game versus the Packers is 5.5 weeks away. So next on the depth chart is Ben Ellison, Johnny Munt, Zach Davison, and Nick Muse. And yes, I went through that list just so I could say Nick Muse. With Tyler Conklin.
Shout out
and
to the Muse fans.
Yeah, yes, exactly. With Tyler Conklin and his boy Bun in New York, Smith was expected to have a big year. So, Brock, does this news change that viewpoint on Big Irv Smith?
I mean, I wasn't really looking at Irv Smith anyway. So
okay.
I mean,
you know what?
no,
I'll say this. So historically on the show, I've said don't draft Minnesota Vikings tight ends, but they have kind of a new offensive direction that they seem to be taking. It seems to be that they're going to throw more and they're going to run less. And with that being said, Irv Smith is a talented guy and he has good hands. So he's going really cheap in drafts. So I actually wouldn't advise against taking a shot on him. I might personally not do it, but
So the surgery doesn't change your opinion on him, basically, because he's going to be ready for the season. Supposedly he's going to be ready. I
mean, obviously you'd want it to be a non-hand injury. That kind of worries you a little bit, but he does have good hands, and I'm like I said, I'm willing to take I'd be willing to take a shot on him if he's like the last pick in the drafts.
There you go.
Yeah.
Amen, Connor, on that.
Amen.
New Orleans Saints running back Alvin Kamara.
There we go.
Yeah. His hearing regarding a battery charge has been rescheduled for Thursday, September 29th, according to Catherine Terrell of ESPN. Early Monday, though, she reported that Kamara's imminent court date was pushed back another 2 months to October. So I'm not exactly first she said October, now she's saying September 29th, October. It's pretty much the same, right? So this is the third time that this hearing has been delayed. Now, Kamara faces misdemeanor and felony battery charges for an incident in early February in Las Vegas. Until the legal process plays out, the NFL is not likely to make any decision on any sort of punishment. So, with the court date being moved now past the start of the season, and it might be longer, there's a better than average chance that he doesn't get suspended until the 2022 season.
23.
Right. Or 22-23 season. Yes, thank you. Brock, then I'll throw this to you. With this news, right now Kamara's going in the third round. Should he be moved up from where he's currently being drafted?
As long as the news doesn't change, yes. But otherwise, this could end up like a Ezekiel Elliott midseason suspension.
Good one. Yeah, that hits you. That hits you right there in the heart. Yeah.
It does. It does.
Uh-huh.
That was the middle of one of my rise, trying to steal Ezekiel Elliott from some dude on my. Anyway, it's a long story about how you win a championship. Whatever the case, that was a big part of what existed that season. I mean, what does he have? 1,300 yards.
Yeah, nothing feels better than having a great running back that you just steal from somebody. I've done it too. It feels great.
1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns, 47 receptions. With Michael Thomas coming back, I think Alvin Kamara looks really attractive.
I mean anything looks attractive compared to an Easter Island head.
Well, I don't know. Have you seen an Easter Island head up close?
Hey man, different strokes for different folks.
Okay.
I might have the beer goggles on by now, so yeah.
So what you're saying is second round then? He should go into the second round?
No.
Yeah, he's definitely second rounder. I mean, he's 80 in a 12-man, pretty high.
Would you be happy with him being your RB1 if you went wide receiver in the first round?
Yes. Yeah, well, I mean, you'd have to, especially with this news. Yeah, no, he's 18th on PPR top 300. So, and in a 12-man league, I guess, yeah, second round, high second round if you can get him.
All right. Okay, Connor, do you share the same thing?
No, he fucked me last year. He's dead to me.
All right. Well, how about that? How about?
And I can give you another good reason. Do you want to know another good reason why?
Sure, go on.
Go ahead.
Voldemort.
Voldemort, that's Taysom Hill. Now, he absorbed a pretty hefty hit on Thursday when injured his ribs and is now being described as being sidelined for an indefinite period of time. Also reported today, free agent tight end Chris Herndon is set to sign with the Saints. Now, how do you feel about Voldemort?
I feel like a complete piece of shit, but I actually really like hearing that news.
Yes,
and this
I
does
know.
make me excited about Kamara.
There
And
you go.
I would be willing to go third round, not second, but third round.
Okay, yeah, because
You
Marker.
know, Connor, if there's one thing I've learned about fantasy football is do not make these decisions emotionally.
Yeah.
Because I did that 1 year with Todd Gurley, and
Oh yeah.
and it fucked me bad. I was like, God damn it! I skipped on him specifically
Fair
because
enough.
he fucked me before, and then he goes and he does what he did with Atlanta, and I was like, fuck Todd Gurley. I've always been fuck Todd Gurley, so it was
Yeah.
just a weird omen around him. Don't let Alvin Kamara be your Todd Gurley.
But you can say that. You can say that in 2022, though. Go ahead, say that about Gurley. Go ahead. You can say it. And feel
Todd
good.
Gurley.
Fuck Todd Gurley.
There you go. Feel good about it, man. Feel good about it. Yeah. Mark Ingram's still there. Okay, so I'm with Connor. I cool my jets a little bit on the excitement. So I'd be a little worried about Ingram taking over because once Ingram joined, it became like a tandem. And I managed Kamara last year, so I saw that. And then of course the injury happened, and it was bad from that point on. So, but the fact that Voldemort's not there does help. It was reported that proven liar Sean McVay said on Monday that LA Rams wide receiver Van Jefferson had a little knee tweak and underwent a minor surgery today on Tuesday.
That means his knee's
But
fucked
it's a
up.
flesh wound.
Yeah, he said that Van Jefferson's initial timeline for return is a few weeks away, but they'll have a better idea after they see how the surgery goes. Names like Ben Skowronek and Tutu Atwell are being thrown around, but come on. The real
We
question,
know
guys,
the name.
is what does this
matters.
news do for Allen Robinson? I'll start with you, Connor, since
I'll tell you what it did. I'll tell you what it did. On my nifty little piece of paper where I inevitably write down the smart things that you guys tell me, I wrote down draft A-Rob seconds after I heard this news about Vance Jefferson. This is the exact reason why I was so excited about him, because a lot of the other Rams wide receivers are injury prone. Allen Robinson, he's a big guy. He's Stafford's kind of receiver. He is set to have a Cooper Kupp-esque type season, potentially.
All right, do you feel this?
Okay.
Feel the same, Brock? Thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, the studies are not conclusive. I mean, we saw what he was able to do, with the Fields and the Red Rocket, which wasn't lighting it up, but I mean, it was good. Now Cooper Kupp, kind of 2021 season, I don't know, but I can tell you that Van Jefferson, when he does come back, I would say Allen Robinson is, yes, definitely draft early for early, because he's going to be their number 2 guy like he already is, but he's certainly going to eat into the targets when he comes back, as he would a guy who got almost 1,000-yard season last year. So I mean, he wasn't a schlub. I mean, he was definitely reliable. I had him last year, and he was hit and miss, but nevertheless, he's still almost 1,000-yard guy. So when he comes back, I mean, we'll see if he's able to replicate even that season he had last year. But whatever the case, Allen Robinson's going to eat early until he comes back. I think he's going to miss game 1. So Allen Robinson will feast. And if you can get Allen Robinson a little bit sooner, I think it helps with the ability to get him. So, I mean, as far as I know he's going like in the 5th and 6th round.
What round? What round would you take him? Give me a number.
Allen Robinson. I mean, he's number 67. So I'm thinking right now that's like 4th, 5th round.
That's interesting math, but okay.
But
yeah,
I think
so
he's thinking in 12-man right now. I think that's the reason.
Yeah, I'm thinking in 12-man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we placate to the 10-man here.
Now, just for the 10-man listeners, that translates to he goes in about the 4th round.
Fourth round, yeah.
In 67? I don't think so, guys. Yeah, check that math.
In
our
like
drafts that we did
7th round
today,
almost.
he fell, but I also have been seeing him go in the 4th. It's fluctuating right now, and because of this news, it might fluctuate him back all the way up.
I'd say late 4th, early 5th, probably.
But I'd
There you
definitely
go.
be willing
There you
to
go.
pay a 4th.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, and you Connor, 4th?
4th.
Okay, because that's where like DJ Moore's going. That's where Mike Williams is
Fuck
going.
DJ Moore, Mike Williams. He's a good wide receiver, but I'd rather take. I trust Allen Robinson more.
You see, DJ Moore. DJ Moore is an interesting name because that's kind of that's a guy that's burnt me, and I think it burnt you, Connor. But the thing that seems true to me, and again, this is theory. This is why I haven't drafted him, because you kind of have to draft him, and it's a theory, and I'm trying to keep as much theory out of my starting lineup as I can, but it's getting harder and harder. But still, I try. But it seems true to me that they're going to, with Christian McCaffrey's, how important he is to the team, and also the fact that of his injury, of course, he's now. I'm at 2-3 years. He's been injured, so he's injury prone. You're also looking at Matt Rule. This is the head coach. This is probably, if he does not get them to the playoffs, then he's going to be out of a job next year. So all these things are accumulating. And also, one more fact is that towards
he's
the end
going to be out
of
of
the
a
year,
job next year. He always looks like he doesn't have any idea what's going on.
Yeah, I don't mean to cast ill will on him, but he's not going to have a
hang
job
on,
next
let me
year.
finish.
They're
Let
not
me
going to the
finish.
playoffs.
Please let me finish.
So
With
that's
DJ
what she
Moore
said.
towards the end of the season, that DJ Moore was running the ball more. I think he's going to be kind of like a Debo Samuel light.
Debo-esque?
Yeah, I think he's going to run more, and he's also going to be the
Diet
wide
Debo?
receiver one. And he's got a QB. He's got a QB upgrade from Sam Darnold.
Wish.com version of Debo Samuel.
I don't think that Baker Mayfield is an upgrade from
Darnold.
Darnold, Sam Darnold. I don't.
You see, that's where we disagree. I mean, I do. I honestly do.
This is what it is. You have two different idiots driving the boat. One drives it too far left, and one drives it too far right.
Okay. All right. I'm just telling you.
They could play them both at the same time. They could offset, and they could be a lightning rod.
This is really the argument for the first two quarterback set team every down that we need to see. The combined forces of Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, the likes of which have never
One
seen.
throws it left, and then the other throws it right, and then it's on every time.
Yeah.
But they've got to start lateral, right?
Yeah, they hold it together, and they just.
That's
go
fantastic.
Catch, Robbie.
I share your sentiments on Darnold, but not on Baker Mayfield. I think he's going to do a lot better, especially for Moore. So I think I can see a pathway for DJ Moore. Going back to the Rams, though, for Robinson, I agree. Like the 5th or 6th round is probably the best spot, because you are, even though this is exciting news, you are talking about the wide receiver 2 and the wide receiver 1 being like besties with Matthew Stafford. So that's just something to keep in mind. But yeah, I could definitely see grabbing him, especially since, if you really want him to get him in the 4th. I mean, okay, that's cool. One question, and before we close the door on Van Jefferson, does Van Jefferson's injury,
Carolina Panthers,
does this open the door for the return of OBJ?
No.
No.
Well, maybe
I
actually.
heard the Cowboys are eyeing OBJ right now.
I think he would eye the Cowboys too. Yeah.
Yeah, the Cowboys definitely could use him. Yeah, once he becomes healthy.
Honestly, my favorite destination to see OBJ would be either I don't know. It would be cool to see him on the Bucks. They need some wide receivers. It would be cool to see him on the Saints. They need some wide receivers.
The Bucks just got Julio Jones, man.
Yeah,
and they're going to
know.
get Chris Godwin back as
see what Julio Jones did?
It's very realistic for a washed out former superstar to sign with the Tom Brady team for a less than...
No. Kansas City is the one that likes to sign the wash-up players and bring them in. I mean, that's what they always do.
Juju Smith-Schuster? Is that what you're saying?
Dude,
Yeah, I can see OBJ on the Chiefs. That works.
Yeah,
That works.
yeah. Like, where did Flash go? Where did Gordon go, dude?
He could also go to the Raiders.
Yeah.
That would open them up. He could go to the Broncos.
Okay. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. One more Rams-related note. McVay said regarding Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson. I look at it. That's what he says. I look at it as if we have 2 starting running backs.
Cam Akers is the starting running back.
Yeah. I'm just saying. The proven liar. Okay,
the reason why I like the Rams so much is because I literally just do the opposite of what Sean McVay says, and it's almost always like 100% effective.
Yeah. Kyler Murray. We got the first major COVID strike of the season, and it's on. Mr. Newly Inked Kyler Murray. He tested positive for the virus, but is feeling much better, according to
This is good. This gives him a chance to catch up on film.
Yes. Right? That's great, and he could return to practice by the end of the week. Now, he's been able to participate in meetings virtually and is working through a minor wrist injury that he suffered on Friday. So, one thing I did want to point out is that you didn't hear he tested positive for COVID, so he's going to be out of mandatory 10 days or anything like that. So it seems that one thing that's not really being talked about with this news is that it looks like the NFL has kind of pulled back a little bit on the COVID restrictions. They're not allowing a COVID IR anymore, and it looks like they're basically following the CDC guidelines. Basically, when the player tests positive for the virus, if they test negative, then they can play. So it shouldn't be like the death knell, to fantasy rosters like it used to be last year,
I think there's 2 stories within this story, and yes, one of them is what little, COVID's impact is at this point now that it has done its damage and is with us for the rest of our lives. But I think the other note is something that, Connor alluded to, which was the language in his contract being somewhat insulting.
They took it out.
I know they took it out, but the damage is done.
I'm going to take a hot take, and I'm going to say that maybe he doesn't watch enough film. Maybe that's why he always peters out at the end of the season.
Yeah, he's admitted as such. But finish your point, Brock.
Maybe, and that might be, but also it could just be like, hey, maybe a nudge. If you do a little bit more studying, sure. But I mean, I think there's a narrative going on as well that, hey, you gotta have kid gloves to talk about something like this. I think it goes without saying that everybody should be required to do game studies 4 hours a week.
I think speculation was maybe it's like he watches film with coach, he watches film at the meetings, but what they want him to be watching film in his own time, because that's what the greats do. That's what Tom Brady does. That's what these top tier echelon guys do. And if you want to get paid like them, then you need to put in the work.
100%. But still, there is certainly an ongoing issue about black quarterbacks being given lesser consideration or just being undermined this way. Because I mean, when you have a guy who threw, I think in his career, I think he's done very good. 70 touchdowns. I mean, 30 interceptions. I think maybe the 30 interceptions is tough, but he threw last year for 4,100 yards, not counting what he ran for. So I mean, he's great. They know he's great. I mean, he accounted for 356 fantasy points, and Tom Brady's at the 450 mark. Okay, so I mean, yes, everybody can do something to be better. Tom Brady could do stuff to be better. He could just get younger, but still, it's just like it's weird. So I just wanted to say, I think he's amazing. There's all these quarterbacks, and I think there are some that sort of fucked up, just like any other quarterback of any other race. I mean, I think the Jamarcus Russell joke. It wasn't a joke. It really happened, where he didn't look at game tape. The coach gave him like some videotape to study these plays, these blitz packages.
Yeah, we all know that story. And he gave him blank tapes, and then Jamarcus.
Yeah, and he never watched me. So yeah, I watched them. They were blank, and so
yeah, I mean,
it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
I don't necessarily. I understand that, but I mean, you know, you have a lot of guys in the league. Like you have Lamar Jackson, for example. He's turning it on every game of the year. You know, There's no question about Lamar Jackson's dedication to the game. And, you know, I don't think this about very many quarterbacks that achieve what Kyler Murray achieves, so I think it's significant. And that is that Kyler Murray seems pretty loose and carefree in every game I've ever seen him play in. And I think that's the bigger issue, is that they just want him to be a little more serious.
I get that too. But there is still, like I said, that narrative going on.
I understand.
And, you know, and if by chance, the only reason I bring it up is, might it be one of the things that weighs on him? You know what I mean? Like he's like, I've worked so hard. Could that language that they put in now, obviously they've taken it out, could that impact his game in any way? You know,
make him pissed off and play better.
So Brock, was that clause on the contract before he signed it, and as he was signing it, and was it?
I think so, but they took it out.
Right, but the point I'm making is that he knew about that clause and he still signed it. So I don't think it's going to affect his gameplay.
But but he didn't know it was on there till his agent read it after he signed it.
Okay, well that's easy now, dude. I don't believe that for a second. You're not going to make $1 million thing without a lawyer looking at it.
Brian's right, but I hear and I affirm everything Barack is saying, and I think it's a good point. I also think we're at about the 50-minute mark now, so are we almost done with the news? Because we need to go over these teams we drafted.
One last thing before we get to the mock draft. Okay, and this is not really... by the way, on as far as how does it affect Kyler Murray fantasy-wise, not at all.
Not at all.
He'll be fine. Yeah, he'll be fine. He wasn't going to play that much in preseason anyway. None of the stars are going to. So the last thing, the NFL notified, and I just saying this because I want to get... you guys' thoughts on this. The NFL notified the Miami Dolphins on Tuesday that the team will be stripped of its 2023 first-round pick, among other disciplinary measures for violations of league policies relating to the integrity of the game. This followed
third-round 2024 pick has also been docked.
Yeah.
And owner got fined $1 million.
There you go. Yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah, I don't need to go through all of it. Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of the gist of it.
Well, we all know it's from tampering with Tom Brady, and then also Sean Payton. Yeah, and by this point, I think that the news broke earlier today, and by this point, anybody that's tuned in, which if you're watching us, you absolutely are, you kind of already know the details. So, yeah, it's amazing about this. That actually happened. I mean, because we heard the news. I heard the news that that Tom Brady was talking about to Sean Payton to come over to Miami, to form a team. I thought it was BS. I thought it was like, this is moose waffles. This isn't anything, And dude, yeah, I got that because I play a crossword puzzle, and that was actually a thing. It was like for line
moose
or
waffles.
for moose waffles. I was like, I'm gonna start saying that. That's funny. I don't know where it comes from, but it's funny. But yeah, but that was true. That was true. Yeah. They were actually, Tom Brady and Sean Payton were coming together to try to form a team in Miami. Wow.
Well, let's just put it this way. Yeah, okay. It sounds like there's a definite rule against that, especially under contract. I mean, I guess in my business, what I do is people are in a contract or they're at will is Texas, right? And I still tell them, hey, what's up, man? You want to come work for this team that I'm playing with? And, based on my approach and whatever, they may not. Who knows? But, yeah, they don't want their owners to know. They don't want their owners finding out. Certainly they don't. Because what happens? It sheds a bad light, and then everybody loses confidence in you. Certainly. But, I mean, you're Tom Brady. You're one of the best ever. Why wouldn't you be getting recruited even during? That's the nature of where we are right now. I mean, these players, all these wide receivers, it's been like a record setting wide receivers getting paid this offseason. Okay, I mean, I can't imagine why. It wouldn't. He got word that Sean Payton wasn't happy with what was going on in New Orleans. Certainly after Drew Brees was gone. But then Tom Brady, why wouldn't you try to do this and form it? Yeah, of course they're under contract, and sure there may be a clause about non-recruitment. But I got to tell you, in my business, one of the longest lasting relationships in my business that has made my money, and I've been able to keep the lights on, is the company he founded in 1972, which is crazy. When I saw his name today, I was like, holy shit. He founded a real estate company that I am, I work with. It's just like, holy crap, why am I seeing this company? So that's a detail. I mean, that hits close to home for me. I said my boss, I was like, hey, listen, look, I know you hired me for my relationships. Can you deal with Stephen M. Ross? I mean, he's worth $8 billion. I mean, you know how we play. And he's like, you know what, I can handle. So I think the NFL will be just fine. I get he's got to, be away from operations till December, but it was pretty crazy to see his name. And he's suspended. It's just crazy. But when you think about it, he's only had 2 winning seasons since he's been the owner of the Dolphins. He came in 2009, bought them up, and has only had 2 winning seasons, 2010, and that was with Tannehill, and last season, and that was with Ryan, the beard. Okay, so Patrick. Anyway, Fitzpatrick. Fitzmagic. That's all. Anyway, so I mean, it makes sense that this guy is trying to recruit, to put together a better team. Look at what he's dealing with, So I don't know. I think this is still going to be a top-down effect. This is going to be where trickle-down is the only time trickle-down works. Okay, and that is the management style. And if your owner is supposed to stay away from operations, which I think also includes the games, that's going to affect players like, Tyreek Hill. When you're looking at Tyreek Hill as high as he's going, any other players, that you start to want to just kind of not really look at, because they're still studs and they're still going to get you points and they're still going to do fine. But what's the impact to the players, and the impact to fantasy is the way I like to look at it. And I see at least a 2-point impact, an ADP of a drop of at least 5 positions. Okay. I don't know. It should be. That's in my business model, the way I do analysis.
Well, speaking of analysis and speaking of ADP, I think that's a really good place to start.
Well, hang on. I didn't know your connection to Stephen Ross. That was interesting, dude. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I didn't know that connection. Yeah, that's crazy.
One of my best clients, one of my best and longest clients since I first started doing contingency work.
Wow.
This company was the first company I brought in as a client, and they have followed me everywhere that I've gone. So
wow. Had no idea. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, but as far as fantasy, I'm of the opinion that this is not anything fantasy relevant. It just stinks for that team.
It's still top-down management. That still affects players, no matter what. I mean, why do you think the Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl in over 20 years? It's management.
Okay, hang on. So you're saying Tyreek Hill should go in the 7th round?
I'm not going to think he should go in the 7th round.
Okay.
I think that he's lying and he's spewing this propaganda so he can draft the Dolphins players as they fall to him.
Maybe. Yeah, and that's not right. That's not right. That's usually.
I don't think Tyreek Hill should go as high as he is in the 2nd round. How about that? He should go a lot later in the 2nd round.
He's going to 3rd.
Even high-end 3rd.
He's thinking 12-man again.
Okay.
Speaking of 12-man, 10-man guys.
We gotta
get into this mock draft.
Here at the
fun. Thank you for preparing all this information, Brian.
Here at the show, what we try to do is we do try to focus to the 10-man, because every other podcast does focus on the 12-man, but Brock is in a 12-man, so he sees everything through the 12-man eyes. So we let it slide, but it kind of helps.
Yeah, it's kind of helpful because it's 10-man focused, but for those 12ers out there, Brock's kind of like their spokesperson.
Yeah. So on this mock draft. Yeah, on this mock draft that we just got through doing, I picked second, and Brock picked fourth, and Connor picked eighth. Okay, so. And this was a through Yahoo, because that's the platform we use, and so that's where all the ADPs are. So it's all on Yahoo. When we talk ADPs, when we're talking everything, this is what we're focusing on. So let's go ahead. Let's just go down the results. So of course, number one off the board, Jonathan Taylor, really easy. Number two. Whenever it was my turn, I heard Connor mentioning Cooper Kupp. Then he said that he thought it was going to be Christian McCaffrey. I think that Brock had his own little opinions on what I was going to pick.
He thought Eckler.
Eckler. He thought Eckler. I chose...
Eckler.
Yeah, I chose Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry. Yeah, because the reason...
King.
Dude, the reason why, man, is that what I saw last year... Okay, I know that he hurt himself and everything like that, and when he came back, he wasn't the same. But he's had a whole offseason to rehab. I don't think that's going to be an issue. But what I saw, and I remember myself saying this, because Connor had this beast, that when I was watching the Titans games, and I saw Derrick Henry starting to catch balls out of the backfield, I was like, oh no. Because he was destroying cornerbacks and safeties, man. And it makes more sense now for them to do that to keep him from getting hit so much between the lines. So I thought that's why I went through Derrick Henry. He's going to be catching the ball more, and the offense goes through him, and he's the number one option on the offense, and that's what I want on my roster. Number 3 was Cooper Kupp. Number 4, that was Brock. Talk about it, Brock.
I mean, I could have jumped down and gotten who my keeper is in my 12-man league, which is Joe Mixon, and played the. But I'm there's no rules in this for me, so I went with the logical guy that was supposed to go at. I think he was supposed to go 3 at this point with the Yahoo ADP, but he's going in ESPN 4th, and so. I mean, he would have fallen to me anyway. And yeah, why wouldn't I take Austin Eckler? He's gonna get a lot of production in that offense, and with an improving quarterback. I mean, that quarterback play, Mike Williams. What is
Keenan
it?
Allen.
Well, not just Keenan Allen. Who's their tight end again? Hawkinson? No.
No, they have Cook
Everett. Gerald Everett, dude.
Oh, they have Gerald Everett now.
Yes, that's who their tight end is. Yes,
that's who their tight end. Well, anyway, I still think that's what fell to me, and I'm like, okay, I don't see a problem as to why I shouldn't do this. I think what was next was going to be like Justin Jefferson, and I just maybe it's just me, but I have a really hard time taking a wide receiver that high. You know what I mean? I know Cooper Kupp, is going very high, but I just he can't replicate what he just did. There's no humanly way he could replicate that. Okay, you got his quarterback dealing with arm pain right now. So
yeah, but Stafford's always injured.
Yeah, well, true, but it's still, I just can't seem to find a reason to allow myself because of the lack of consistency. Yeah, it's more consistent than other wide receivers, but I don't think, for whatever reason, I just have this. If I'm going to draft that high, and it's early first round, first pick, I'm going to look at a running back that's going to get all the touches, and that the most sense.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, because they drafted Isaiah Spiller out of A&M in the 4th round. This is a 6'1", 215 pounds, just man-child guy, dude. So he was actually drafted. It looks like that based on the way that they used Eckler last year was that they were always trying to find a compliment for him, but they were having trouble finding one because everybody they had couldn't compliment Eckler, and so they finally found one. So there's a chance, and there's been a lot of talk out of camp that Isaiah, thank you, Spiller will be taking over the goal line because of his size. Because you're talking about a 5'10", 200-pound guy to a 6'1", 215-pound guy who in college, that's what he was used for. And so that's where I'm really concerned with when it comes to Eckler. Because I'm not sure if he's going to be able to handle or be able to give you all those touchdowns that he got last year. I mean, dude, come on, man. I mean, last year was just an amazing stat TD thing for any running back, So I don't think that it's something that is sustainable. He had 12 touchdowns last year. Is that possible? 911 yards. I mean, to sustain that now that you got this new guy in, I'm a little nervous. I looked at Eckler. I chose Henry because there's no other thing, it all funnels through Henry. But I see the route. But I was just wanted to throw that thing about Spiller. So just kind of just trying to help out the masses. But
hey, listen, that's good news to hear, honestly. So
yeah, so that's not to poo-poo your pick. I think you did great.
Hey,
yeah.
Like I said, I mean, I just didn't feel right going with a wide receiver, and Justin Jefferson was next. So I was like, all right, Austin Eckler, and you've got some intel in Isaiah Spiller, which sounds very sound. But at this point, I've been studying pick number 16, pick number 6, 19, 30, 43.
Got you. No, I hear. Why not Christian McCaffrey?
Just the injury prone. He's already injury prone, and there's a quarterback situation that no matter which way it goes, it's not good for anybody there. And then DJ Moore is going to eat. Christian McCaffrey, as long as he stays healthy, he's still going to be dynamite. But he's not. I mean, I don't know that he's going to be. I don't know that he's going to be the guy that's
okay. All right.
Well, yeah, because Christian McCaffrey is more like, ow, my calf, ow, my knee. You never know with that guy.
Number 5.
I saw a meeting where he tried on the new helmet and he sprained his ankle.
Nice.
Number 5 was Christian McCaffrey. Number 6, Dalvin Cook. Number 7, Najee Harris. And then number 8 came up to Connor. Connor, who did you pick?
Joe Mixon, my guy. And this is my big strategy because I got the 8th pick, so you'll see a little more about my strategy. But just a teaser, it's Thunderflex.
So Joe Mixon, Cincinnati, they beefed up their O-line, so he's actually in a better situation. And there's also been news out of camp that Samaje Perine's been a little gimpy already. So
hell yeah, brother, love to hear.
Now the pretty good pick. Number 9. This is where I guess everybody agree with you, Brock, because number 9 was Justin Jefferson. Number 10 was Jamar Chase. Then this is a 10-man, so the number 10 who went by the name of Kevin. Good old Kevin. Kevin turned around and he got Stephon Diggs. So he started off his draft with Jamar Chase and Stephon Diggs.
I hate that.
I'm not
everything about it. I hate what it stands for. I hate what it's trying to do. I don't like going super wide receiver.
Say again?
I really don't like going super wide receiver heavy. I think it's a fake to fake move.
Do you think this is an auto draft?
No,
guy?
I think he did it on purpose. I've seen a lot of people that draft that way.
Yeah, I'm with Connor on this one because one thing that wide receivers are and that nobody talks about is the fact that wide receivers are inconsistent. That even though that they score all these high numbers, they'll score like this explosion one week, and then the next week it'll be barely anything. And I'm sorry, guys, those points don't carry over to the next week whenever you're going head to head. And so that's why I really like
that running back heavy.
Yeah, because
that's why
running backs
go Thunderflex.
Yeah, they're consistent. They're always scoring. So I'd rather have somebody who's going to give me like 20 points a week, instead of somebody gives me like 15 or 10 and then like 80 the next week. So yeah, I agree with that. What was your biggest surprise, Connor, out of that? Was there any surprises? I didn't see really a surprise in the first round.
No, but now we're into the second round, and the next pick is me, right?
Mm-hmm. No, well, we went Stephon Diggs, and then it went Nick Chubb, and then it went the Connor Express.
And the Connor Express chose Leonard Fournette. I am in on him 100%. I'm not worried about the news. He already lost half of the weight he gained, and yeah, I'm excited. I think he has top 5 potential. I've got 2 backs now on my team, my running back 1 and 2, that both have top 5 potential, and I'm really excited about it.
I'm concerned about Leonard Fournette because of the fact he lost 3 of his starting O linemen.
I
Okay,
also
so
heard he lost at least 3 pounds.
That's a reason
Yeah.
for Tom Brady to dump off even more passes to him.
okay, all right. I'm just worried about that's what I'm worried about. But you're not wrong because Leonard Fournette made all of his hay last year on the pass catching, not necessarily on touchdowns. That really wasn't his thing. So yeah, I can see that. See there. Number 4 was Devontae Adams. Number 5, Aaron Jones. Number 6, CeeDee Lamb, and then number 7, it fell to Brock. Brock, who'd you pick?
I picked Mike Evans because CeeDee Lamb was gone.
Good pick.
That's a homer. That was a homer statement. Yeah, he's in Dallas right now. Homer.
No, I'm sorry. It's not like I'm saying I'm going Ezekiel Elliott next. And I mean, you'll see that I did pick Dak Prescott earlier.
Don't.
Still. But still, dude, I saw Travis Kelce there, and I was like, oh my god, like am I a dog returning to its vomit? I was like, no, I'm going Mike Evans. That's the next logical pick. I picked Mike Evans, and it also fit the profile of, hey, I've already got my running back 1. I need my wide receiver 1, okay? And what's funny is that the guy that picked next, Stewart, whoever he is,
What? Yeah,
I'm just
go ahead.
saying, he picked Travis Kelce, and he jumped not only over Mike Evans, but Keenan Allen, T. Higgins, Saquon Barkley, David Montgomery, DJ Moore, Mark Andrews. And he went Travis Kelce. And I was like, I mean, I see his strategy. It's like the tight end, even in the 10-man league, is a very valuable spot. And I've always said build around that tight end.
I did some research, at least on my league and how my league scores, and I found that the only tight ends that are worth picking early really are Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce. That's it. All the other ones, from 3 down to like 8, they were only like maybe 5-10 points a game different, or no, 3 to 5 points a game difference. Yeah, so not that much of a difference at all. And so, yeah, I can understand the guy going for Kelce. So Julio Jones doesn't bother you at all with that he's there or anything like that, or Kyle Rudolph or anything like that. You're still straight on Mike Evans. He's the dude.
I mean, you've got Godwin, who's dealing with injury problems.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is his wide receiver 1. Tom Brady's going to throw to him.
Okay.
And that's the way it's going to be.
Okay. All right. Like you already alluded to, you talked about Travis Kelce. Number 9, that fell to me. I chose running back for the Detroit Lions, DeAndre Swift. There's been a lot of news out of camp that he's being used as a receiver more, and he's also an electric running back that has incredible burst. He got injury. He's had injuries the last 2 years, and that makes me a little nervous. But one thing I learned last year I passed on Joe Mixon because I was like, oh, he's injury prone, and you saw what kind of year he had. DeAndre Swift, he's like one of the main focus of the offense. I think he's going to have a great year, and so I was very excited and happy to choose Swift, especially with the second to last pick in the second round.
It's going to be a monster because of what the shit pass game is that already exists there.
There you go. They're going to be playing from behind. And so pass catchers in those situations are really good, especially with Jared Goff being the quarterback. He likes to throw to his tight ends. He likes to throw to his running backs. And so that's why I chose DeAndre Swift. And plus, when DeAndre Swift played last year, he was awesome. He was incredible. So I was really excited about that. Any thoughts on poo-pooing that pick, guys? Everybody's on board on that or no?
Okay. It's good. It's a good pick at its spot.
There you go. After that was out,
at its spot.
Too high. What did you say again?
Logical pick.
Oh, thank you. After that was Alvin Kamara, and then we already talked about him. Then the guy that picked Kamara turned around and grabbed Saquon Barkley. So then it fell to me. So I was excited because I thought I was going to get Saquon. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I really thought I was going to get Saquon. I was being, I have like Saquon and Swift kind of like pretty much like the same in my mind. And I was like, I think I have a better chance of getting Saquon than I did getting Swift back again. Struck out, whatever, dude. So I went with what I thought was the best wide receiver on the board, which was Debo Samuel. With that news that we just read about the contract, I'm no longer afraid of him not running the ball now, and I thought that him in the third round was just an incredible value. Just like we talked about, I don't think that he's going to be there. This is probably the last week that I'll be able to do that, because once people start actually drafting real drafts, I think he's going to creep up to the second. Do you guys agree on that?
I mean, perhaps based on everything. I mean, get paid, eat bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any surprises in the second round?
Yeah, Travis Kelce.
Okay. Yeah, Connor, any surprises there for you?
No.
Yeah. Everything was pretty the same.
The logic behind Travis Kelce going that early makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he skipped over like 5 solid players. This guy skipped over DeAndre Swift, Alvin Kamara.
Saquon.
He clearly wanted a positional advantage.
Yeah, but I agree with
I mean, he's going to get the same out of Mark Andrews.
I agree with Brock.
Yeah,
I agree with Brock.
Yeah, I agree with Brock too.
Everything Brock just said, I agree. There's nothing I can say about that. So after me with Debo Samuels was the heartbreak of Brock's draft, which was Ezekiel Elliott went right after me. Yeah, and then came Brock. Brock, who did you?
Don't pigeonhole me. I'm not in love with my own team. Okay.
But you would have drafted him over Mark Andrews.
No.
Would you? No. Good. Glad to hear that.
I mean, I have my RB1.
Even though, I mean, you're in Dallas, so you're getting all that news about like Jerry Jones saying that Zeke needs to be the focus point of the run game, and all that hype that we're hearing on the fantasy side. You're hearing it like coming out of like your local radio station.
Hearing that Pollard is about to work his ass off this year because of the wide receiver deficiency. So, I mean, Ezekiel Elliott going there, and that's great. I mean, if Pollard would have fallen to me wherever he should have fallen, I mean, I would have taken Pollard over Elliott. I mean, Elliott, I'm not saying Elliott's a one-trick pony, but Pollard can be utilized in so many different ways out of the backfield.
Gotcha.
You know, I mean, he's not the best blocker, so you definitely want to act fast when he's in your backfield, you know, especially for under center guys.
You might lose your foot.
Yeah. So no, I wasn't sad about Ezekiel Elliott going, but I would have looked at him. But then I would have looked at Mark Andrews, who was the next pick.
Yep.
And that's where Mark Andrews should have gone, and that's where Kelce would have gone. And at this point, had I seen Travis Kelce was still on the board, I would have skipped Ezekiel Elliott and Mark Andrews and gotten Travis Kelce at this point. But I mean, there's no other. I just don't. And just trust me when I say it. Maybe don't trust me, but I don't see Debo Samuel signing as like that awesome a news. You know, I mean, it's not like he's in San Francisco, he's a wide receiver 1. And, you know, we've talked about, you know, having empirical evidence to support the decisions that you want to make. Okay. And Samuel's playing under, you know, Trey Lance has not been proven. Okay. They're moving on from Garoppolo, and he got paid under what his performance with Garoppolo. I think his performance is going to take a severe hit this year, and that's why I didn't even look at him. I was like, no, the next best option is Tom Brady throwing to Mike Evans. Okay, that is the next logical spot that I need to go with. Okay. So I took Mike Evans.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I respectfully disagree, but I do agree that it is theory. And I mentioned that I'm trying to keep every theory like out of my lineup. But dude, when it comes to wide receiver, outside of Jamar Chase and Cooper Kupp, there's really everybody else's theory. And so that's why I was like, well, let me just choose what I think is the best theory. So after Brock, number 5 was Javonte Williams. I thought that's pretty good value for Williams.
It's a great
in round
value.
3. Yeah. Then number 6 was T. Higgins. Number 7, that's where Keenan Allen went, which I think is way too high for Keenan Allen.
Agreed.
Number 8 was Connor Express.
I
What
got
did
my
you choose?
man, David Montgomery. The truth. The most metal running back in the NFL, and he's at my fucking flex position, bro. Y'all are fucked. You're gonna have to face up against Joe Mainman Mixon, playoff Lenny, Lombardi Lenny, and fucking David Montgomery in the flex, bro. Fucking forget about it.
All right, okay. Some people might say that his touchdown opportunities are not going to be as much as, let's say, like Cam Akers, or even Connor, James, so
Yeah, but he does have a different situation than both of those guys. Guys, this is my first time I've gotten to talk about this on the show this year. I'm using my platform to do this.
it's the first time any of us has gotten to talk about anything this
and I'm
year.
excited.
It's our
I'm excited.
first show of the year.
I'm excited because Matt Nagy was fired, so we can't do that music for him anymore. But we all hear it. Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
One for our boy. They got a new offensive coordinator who wants to do a Kubiak-esque run-first zone scheme. This is going to be perfect for a running quarterback and a stud three-down back like David Montgomery. It's just Montgomery and then kind of the backup, so he's going to be the workhorse. You got Darnell Mooney there who's going to open up, the lanes downfield, so you can't stack the box against Montgomery. This is the perfect situation for him, and he's going in the third round. And he, once again, does have top 5 potential because he's a 3-down guy, because he's a pass-catching back, because he's a volume play. And that, that made me like him more than Cam Akers and Connor, because Akers and Connor both have their own concerns. They're both more injury prone. They both have more competition, and neither of them have this zone first run scheme that I'm really excited about.
Okay. So it doesn't bother you, Khalil Herbert, that doesn't.
No, because he faced more competition than just Khalil Herbert. He had Khalil Herbert and Damian Williams there last year, and look what happened.
Okay, there was just a lot of talk about Herbert in camp, kind of getting
That's true.
work.
That's true, but David Montgomery, he is the alpha.
Okay.
He is the alpha, and he has a phenomenal, from what I can see, work ethic and just demeanor. You've never heard any news about David Montgomery. I mean, the guy he shows up, he does the work.
He does the work, but I mean, he takes 225 touches and rushes for 849 yards.
That is true.
3.5 yards average. He got 7 touchdowns. 7 touchdowns is nothing to scoff at. 849 yards is nothing to scoff at, unless, of course, you are picking him, I would say, way lower.
Because he's in the third round. That's the other beautiful thing. He's a value in the third round. This guy is my flex option.
So, but you're running back heavy. So at this point, you're missing a wide receiver.
Not yet. We'll get to that. I feel very confident in my wide receiver core.
You've gone super heavy on the running backs.
Yeah, well, we've talked about this on the show before. I don't know if you were there for those episodes, but me and Brian talked about this, and I told Brian this because I've won with Thunderflex. It was when you go Thunderflex, you don't need super sexy wide receivers. You just need consistency, and you can get consistency in the later rounds. So that's why I prefer Thunderflex to Lightning Flex. Lightning Flex, of course, being you go wide receiver heavy early. With these 3 running backs now, if one of them gets injured, I'm good. I have 2 starting running backs, and I have a lot of depth at wide receiver on my team, so I can fill those needs. And guys are always popping up. I'm in a no waiver league because I'm not a communist, so I can just pick up a guy if a good guy pops up.
So the heavy running back Thunderflex option, I see what you're saying, but you're giving up. You're missing a lot of, I would think, and hey, you've won your league, 2 times now. So I mean, who's to question that? But still,
thank you.
You still look at what you are missing out on in terms of running back, or excuse me, wide receiver. And
yeah,
Are
Well-
you saying that CeeDee Lamb or
Well, I have some pretty good guys because I turn around. I'm up at a couple more picks. So let's talk about what happens between my next pick because I want to answer your question with that pick.
After David Montgomery was Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill and Michael Pittman Jr. rounded out the third. I think the only surprise I would say out of all those was Keenan Allen. I think that was a reach,
Yeah.
and Javonte Williams. That was a heck of a
That
value.
was a fall.
So yeah. So round four started. Anything else stick out, or you guys pretty much agree to that? That's
Say
pretty
la.
much consensus. Okay. Round four started off with Josh Allen being picked. First quarterback off the board, Josh
see
Allen,
that
round
where
four.
he's going in
Yeah.
the fourth round, mid in 12-man league. Actually, yeah, fourth
It's a
round,
great value.
mid round.
It's a great value
Nice.
both leagues.
Yeah.
It's 10 man.
Then after Josh Allen was the guy that I would have picked over David Montgomery, but I respect Connor's pick. It's James Conner. James Conner, yeah. But then after him was Connor's pick, and this is the pick that Connor was wanting us to get to so that he can argue his point
This is true.
that Brock was bringing up. So the floor is yours, Connor.
And that is Cortland Sutton because Cortland Sutton has Russell Wilson, thinner Denver Air, Peyton Manning, Broncos. Those are my reasons why I think that I still have wide receivers who can produce competitively. Now I have, I also, spoiler alert, I went on to draft Russell Wilson, so I have the Wilson Sutton stack, which is nice. So that also makes my wide receivers a little more sexy. So now I got that going.
Wait on that, dude. Wait on that.
Okay.
That was not cool.
Oh,
Yeah, that was not cool.
sorry.
Yeah, but
Moving right
treat the
along.
mock like a lady. Like a lady.
Well,
like
I
a
waited
lady.
until the fourth date.
Don't just go after
Pretty. No, I waited until the fourth date. That's
Deshaun Watson. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Cortland Sutton. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think Cortland Sutton's going to be a guy. He's going to be boom bust. But here's the thing. Here's the argument I would say that Connor's making, Brock, is that while Cortland Sutton is boomering and busting like most wide receivers, and in fact, all wide receivers, he has three guys that should theoretically
Produce.
just continue producing, continue to produce.
like set and
then-
forget.
And then whenever Sutton does hit, then that might be something that'll like explode him over the top, whenever he needs it. But he'll always have that three bases of producing. I think that's why I chose Deebo Samuel, though, is because I feel that he's going to be running again. And so, again, the running back I wanted, there was no running back that I wanted in the third round
Yeah,
at
and
that
I
point.
probably would have drafted Debo knowing that, honestly, this completely changes my strategy because I walked away with, draft Debo, draft A-Rob, be open to drafting Kamara. But I'm still going
Yeah.
Montgomery in the third.
No, yeah, it's good. It's good. No, it's a great pick. It really is a great pick. I mean, I chose David Montgomery when he was a rookie coming out before he became David Montgomery, but he was not David Montgomery then. So you're actually getting the better part of David Montgomery. I got the Matt Nagy version. All right, but after Cortland Sutton was Cam Akers. Then after Cam Akers came DJ Moore in the fourth round, and then after DJ Moore, rookie Bryce Hall. That's a little high on a rookie running back, but I've been
They gotta
burned
take
way
a
too
shot
many.
at Yeager, tell you what.
Yeah, dude, I've been burned on rookie running backs, dude. I've been high. I did that with Josh Jacobs, and I did that with David Montgomery. And dude, just chill out, man. Let that.
I did it with Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you did. It worked out, but yeah,
That was
That
my
one
championship
worked out.
year.
I drafted Jonathan Taylor. That worked out for me.
okay.
There's
But
been
you did.
some that
But
worked.
both of those, they didn't have the competition. They have competition in New York.
J-Train did. He had Marlon Mack and Naeem Hines.
Like I said, they didn't have any competition. Okay. Yeah, dude, not for what Taylor does.
The
So
J-Train.
after Brees Hall came Barack. Barack, talk about this pick. The fourth round for this guy. All right. I mean, I'm on board, but you talk about it.
A.J. Brown, Philadelphia. He's competing with Devontae Adams.
Smith.
Smith. Sorry, there you go.
Devontae Smith.
But I mean, he's. I think it's going to be neck and neck for who's our wide receiver one at this point. You know, and it only opens it up. Hurts didn't do terrible last year, throwing the ball around. I mean, obviously he could have been better. He could have had AJ Brown on his team. I saw AJ Brown, and I said, I'm not going to go Mike Williams at this point. Mike Williams didn't jump out to me for whatever reason. I mean, I like Justin Herbert, but Justin Herbert is the kind of quarterback that can spread it around. He can spread it around to everybody. Okay, and that's why he's doing good. But does that mean that Mike Williams is going to eat on a consistent basis? You know, I mean, you know, we can do the stats here on this.
Dude, as the way that it's rolling right now, I think we can all agree that on the Eagles, the wide receiver one right now is AJ Brown. I think we all agree on that. Okay, and I think that the theory or the thought process you were having was that Mike Williams was there, absolutely, but he's the wide receiver 2 right now. Right now, as it said, and over on the Chargers.
Keenan Allen, I get it, but they both had identical seasons, and Mike Williams had more touchdowns. So Keenan Allen had more targets or more catches, I should say. Both more targets, more catches, but still, Mike Williams, you know, are his neck and neck in yardage and more touchdowns anyway. But in PPR, sure, yeah, Keenan Allen makes a lot more sense. But Mike Williams just didn't jump out to me versus what AJ Brown could do in a new setup. And again, this is just theorizing again, which you don't necessarily like to go with. I just said, hey, maybe AJ Brown will thrive here, you know?
Sure. No. It's a fine pick. He normally goes in the 4th round, so it's not like you were doing anything crazy, you know. And at this point, what wide receiver is this? Is this your wide receiver 1 or your wide receiver 2? What does your team look like right now?
Wide receiver 2.
There you go.
Okay, so this is 4th round. So you have running back and you have 2 running backs and you have 2 wide receivers, right? What's your team right now?
In terms of this draft,
no. Yeah, you have Austin Eckler, which you drafted in the 1st, and then you have Mike Evans as your wide receiver 1. Then you have Mark Andrews, and then you have AJ Brown as your wide receiver 2. So that's really good. That's building a really good PPR.
I mean,
roster.
like I said, Mark Andrews is trying to get a tight end, not too early, but as early as you can. You know what I mean? You don't want to wait on Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts will come up. But those, I think in this situation, I was like, okay, Mark Andrews fell right to me, and nobody else seems to find any more value in him than with Lamar Jackson throwing to him. I mean, he's up neck and neck with Travis Kelce on stats and everything. He did better than Travis Kelce last season. So I felt like good running back who has a lot. I mean, we've got a running back that this is going to spell him. Mike Evans getting thrown to by a Hall of Fame quarterback. Mark Andrews, one of the top ranked tight ends. Then I'm going AJ Brown in the 4th at this point, and AJ Brown, that's still a pretty much solid 1 if you ask me. I know that Devontae, what's his name again? Smith is supposed to be the 1, but I mean, this is just more share, and I thought it was good value at 4. You know.
After AJ Brown, I agree. After AJ Brown was Travis Etienne Jr., which that was a little high, a little high for Etienne in my opinion.
Maybe the person drafting him was a little high.
Yeah, apparently. Then after Etienne was my pick, and after Brock just pooed all over my pick, I will proudly say I chose Mike Williams. Yes, I think that Mike Williams is good, just like what Courtland Sutton is to the Broncos. He's going to have weeks where he might not do too well, but he's going to have weeks where he explodes, and he's my wide receiver too. So at this point, I feel like I have these solid producers, and then we have Mike Williams there to do that extra bit of gas that can be thrown in there. So I was really excited that Mike Williams fell. So I encourage everybody picking before me in the 4th round, please think the way that Barack does. Please, Mike Williams is nothing. It's all Keenan Allen. Leave him alone. I know. I was really excited about Mike Williams. Very proud of that bit.
Great year last year too. So come on.
I wouldn't have let's say if AJ Brown was there and Mike Williams was there, I would have chose Mike Williams. Okay, and you'll see why. Because of who.
I see why. Honestly.
Because I have a plan about the way, and I'll talk about it in my next pick. But after Mike Williams was another surprise in my opinion, which was Eli Mitchell. Even though Eli Mitchell for San Francisco, well, it says Eli, but Elijah, whatever, dude. If Mama call him Clay, I'll call him Clay. So he's the right running back one. Slotted for San Francisco, but they always kind of use different guys. They'll use Jeff Wilson. I believe that they have a new guy they drafted that they'll be using, and also what I think it was Brock that pointed out about why it was a bad move to pick Deebo Samuels. He'll have Trey Lance. And a lot like
I really wanted to talk about that. I think that Trey Lance is a great fit for Deebo Samuel.
Go. We could talk about Trey Lance a little bit later, but but Eli. The thing is that Eli Mitchell's not going to be the alpha dog. Okay, so and that's kind of a high pick for somebody that's not going to be the alpha at this position, because you can grab some other guys later on.
Still got you almost 1,000 yards last year. 5 touchdowns.
But you're using Garoppolo numbers, so you can't. It doesn't work.
Speaking of numbers, let's move on.
You see how that sounds? I want you to hear how that sounded.
Guys, I'm hungry. Come on.
Okay. Well, I ate before. So beginning round 5, Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson was the first pick on the 5th round. After that was my pick, which I picked Justin Herbert. Second quarterback off the board was Justin Herbert. I like Justin Herbert. Whenever I was looking at the scoring last year, the only quarterback that scored higher than Justin Herbert overall was Josh Allen. So I thought that the value of picking him was a good idea. Why not go after a guy that he looks for in the end zone? Mike Williams. That's why I chose Mike Williams. Make sure and get that stack. So there you go. That's the peek behind the curtain there. And I think the 5th round's a good time to pick Justin Herbert. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes I don't get him. Even picking him this high, some people pick Herbert in round 4. I wouldn't do that because of the value that you're passing up, but still. After Herbert was Lamar Jackson. And then after Lamar Jackson was Barack's pick. Who did you pick, Barack? This is not a guy I would have chosen.
I mean, after Josh Jacobs, I was like, I need a stack of running backs at this point, and I think I still only had Eckler to this point, so I needed to go ahead and get a wide receiver or a running back. And I don't think Josh Jacobs was a terrible choice. I mean, he was a 800 and 900-yard guy in rushing, 9 touchdowns, and then he was even played a part in the receiving game. He had 54 catches for 348 yards. All that is a 1,000-yard season, and so for a running back, that's not a terrible drop from, say, Austin Eckler. And if you were looking for a running back at that point, you weren't going to be able to find but AJ Dillon next, and I can't see anybody else after, Josh Jacobs at that point if you were trying to stack up your running back. And I needed a running back at that point, so that was my second running back. And I took Josh Jacobs, which was the best value I could have found at that.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, and King and Drake's messing time. So I mean, I can see it. I can see it. It's basically between him and J.K. Dobbins. So, choose your poison type of thing. So after that was Deontay Johnson. Okay. Then after Deontay Johnson, pardon me, guys, I really am trying to push through the ones that aren't our picks because, like Connor said, I mean he needs to eat. The guy needs substance. Warrior needs food. So after Deontay Johnson was the aforementioned Kyle Pitts in the 5th round.
That's a good spot for him.
Yeah, I agree. Then after that was Darren Waller, which I'm not on with. I'm not on with Waller.
No, but it's a good spot for him. It's normal.
Okay, well, I'm not down with that tight end.
Waller's high on that in this particular situation.
Yeah, I would have picked a different.
No, I'm saying like ADP wise, that's where he normally goes.
Yes, I got you. After Darren Waller was Connor. So go ahead and talk, Connor.
Yeah, I got with my 6th pick. I wanted to provide some value, so. I got Hollywood Brown as my wide receiver too. I figured, the connection with Kyler Murray, is going to be a good, way to kind of produce. And, he's going to put up solid wide receiver 2 numbers. So now my Thunder Flex is safe because of this.
Yeah. And I know that he was put on he was on injury on the PUP list. For training camp.
He's already off it, I think.
Yeah, the PUP list, dude. I mean, it's not like don't be afraid whenever you hear anybody that you're aiming for, especially right now, like 5.5 weeks away from the beginning of the season, or put on PUP. They can be taken on and off at any time. The only thing he was missing was reps, and like Connor said, I mean, they had a connection from college. They were excited. Kyler Murray actually, he pushed to have Marquise Brown come.
Brown requested the trade.
That's right. Brown wanted it out, so it should all work. So yeah, 1 and 1 equals 2 in this situation. After Brown was Terry McLaurin, and then after Terry McLaurin was J.K. Dobbins. Which J.K. Dobbins, that's an interesting pick because right now he's on the PUP list, and last I read, which was today, was that the head coach is waiting on to hear from the doctors to tell him it's okay for Dobbins to play. Dobbins, came out famously earlier, and Brock, you heard about this, right? Where Ian Rappaport reported that Dobbins was not going to be ready for the start of the season, and then he came out and said, "No, man, I'm going to be ready."
And yeah. So, and now he's not, and so shit on Ian Rappaport, Dobbins. Go on.
I think everybody does. I think the facts, poop on Rappaport sometimes. He's a little quick.
Have the best rapport, Rappaport.
Correct. That's right. But J.K. Dobbins picking a guy that's on the PUP list right now. I just said about the PUP list about Marquise Brown, but it's a little different. Yeah. It's a little different, yeah. So I'm not sure about that, but hey, man, I didn't look at his team. Maybe it's his third. Might be his third running back. If it's your third or fourth running back, sure, go ahead, go for it. Number 6. Yeah, the biggest surprise I would say out of that was probably, Antonio Gibson is going way too high. I'm not a big fan of Antonio Gibson, but top of the 5th, that's a little rich, but it allowed me to get Justin Herbert, so I like that guy. Round 6 started off with A.J. Dillon being picked at the top of the 6th. I think that's a good spot for that guy. Right after him was George Kittle. Then number 3 came the guy that I really would like to see in the 6th round. If he's in the 6th round, I'm grabbing him. So I can't be mad at him for this pick. So who'd you pick, Connor?
I picked Dalton Schultz for my tight end. I wanted to kind of bolster my team, kind of maximize my scoring potential. Since I'm going Thunder Flex, having a good tight end is another thing that kind of you kind of need it if you're going Thunder Flex. If you're going Thunder Flex realistically, your wide receivers are going to be a little weaker, so you want to find a value at quarterback and tight end so they can produce each week.
Yeah, and Connor and I, we talk and we strategize, and that's usually a question when people watch like shows where the hosts are on the same league, and Connor's in both of my leagues. So so what we decided to do is that we'll talk it out he knows my strategy, I know his, and then we'll work around it. And that's what we kind of do. And he knows that I love Dalton Schultz. And even here, he said, "Man, I don't want to pick him because I know you like Dalton Schultz." Here's the problem with that. Who said that was the 3rd pick? I'm not until the 9th pick in the 6th round. Okay, so who says that anybody in between there, is not gonna pick Dalton Schultz? And true. I think, yeah. So it's difficult for me to say like I'm mad at you because I wanted to pick him, 5 picks away from you. I mean, come on, man. Right. If that's what your value is, then go for it. And and I think you got a great player. So
thanks, Brian.
But, yeah, that's the way I'm looking at it. So don't be upset if I pick Marquise Brown before you. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So after Dalton Schultz was Patrick Mahomes in the 6th round. How about that? Value. Wow. Well, yeah. Look how the mighty has fallen. He was going like in the 3rd round last year. Now 6th. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, after him was Damian Harris. Then after Damian Harris was Joe Burrow. Then we come to the mighty Brock. Brock, sir, who did you choose with your pick in the 6th round?
I mean, Tom Brady was still sitting there. So why wouldn't I take him? And I don't even know how Joe Burrow went ahead of him. I was like,
right.
It's weird of what I saw, and I was like, okay, I got to get Tom Brady. And Kyler Murray was slated ahead of Tom Brady. And I'm like, okay, I get that. But it's still Tom Brady.
Yep.
Plus you get the Mike Evans stack.
Yeah, and then the Mike Evans stack. But, I mean, it's just like I looked at Tom Brady in the round 6, even in a 10-man, even in a 12-man, like getting him at this position is freaking money. If you ask me, like if I can get Tom Brady in round 6, how much value am I able to like really, have? I mean, right. Yes, everybody in this, obviously you can see round 6 was all about, drafting quarterbacks, as you can see. But it was funny to see the Joe Burrow somehow. That guy must have been like a Cincinnati fan. He must live in freaking Cincinnati. That's a fan. And he picked Joe Burrow. I was like, okay, before this gets worse, I'm going to get Tom Brady. So.
Okay. No. Tom Brady's a great pick there. The whole thing with Joe Burrow, dude, that's where he's going, Brock. That's his normal ADP is the 6th round. So that's just like when we were looking at like where would be the surprise pick, where's the reach in the 6th round? Dude, according to ADP, it's Tom Brady. But according to logic in your eyes and everything else that you can find out that should help you make decisions in fantasy football, Tom Brady absolutely deserves to be in the 6th round, if not the 5th. So I'm with you on that, dude. I'm behind you on that thought. After Tom Brady was Kyler Murray, then became my pick. Who did I choose? I chose Houston wide receiver Brandon Cooks. Why? Because that guy is he's solid, dude. He's always going to produce. He's a guy that is always going to. He's the number one. There's nobody else there, especially with the unfortunate news of Mechie being diagnosed with leukemia. Curable. And I hope the best and pray for the man. But no, it puts Brandon Cooks back in front and center again. No competition, and so that's why I chose him in the 9th round. 10th round, Jalen Waddle. That's actually kind of low for Jalen Waddle, I think. Or 10th round, 10th pick of the 6th round.
10th round is really low.
Yeah, 10th pick, you mean? Yeah, 10th round would be really low. Yeah, but 10th pick is, I like Jalen Waddle. If you believe in Tyreek Hill, you should believe in Jalen Waddle. Just the way it is. I think there's only just a handful of rookies that had better numbers than he did last year, and so he's coming back to the same quarterback that likes him. So, and he's going to have less pressure because of the Tyreek Hill situation. So, and he's a big dude, just big dude. Big. So, number seven started off with DK Metcalf in the first pick, and this next one, I must admit, this is my the one pick that like if you have a pick in the draft that you could take back, this is one I wish I could take back. T.J. Hawkinson, for a couple of reasons. First of all, I have DeAndre Swift.
A double stamp.
Yeah, so picking two Detroit Lions. You know, I know they're gonna pass and behind line. Well, none of that and all that, but that's too much investment, dude, in the Detroit Lions. So yeah, dude, that was a donkey pick on my opinion. You know, okay, Connor and I were talking while we're picking while it was my turn. And he's like, dude, there's somebody that fell that shouldn't be there. Well, Hawkinson always gets picks in the 6th round whenever I do mock draft, so I thought, hey, this is who he's talking about. So I was kind of answering his question. Yeah, so so I made a monkey pick. In retrospect, I should have picked the guy who was picked 2 picks after me. So let's just move on to that. Just nothing to see here. Let's move on. After Hawkinson was Allen Robinson, and then came Barack, who would have been my pick. Should have been my pick instead of Hawkinson. Who would you pick, Barack?
Well, Jerry Jeudy. I think he's the number one there. So if you ask me, I get it. Sutton is definitely going to be a factor, but I think Jerry Jeudy is younger and faster, and I think he's going to click. I hope he is. I mean, he's
and I might actually do that now. I might actually go after Jeudy. Like I said, you know, I think they're both going to do great. I think Jeudy was one of your best picks this draft, especially since he's in your flex. That's an insane. A team with Mark Andrews at the tight end, Jerry Jeudy in the flex, and you got to go against the Mike Evans, Tom Brady stack, and they got Austin Eckler. I mean, that's not fun. You know, A.J. Brown and Josh Jacobs, they're more of the gambles, but that is a good team. And you have some more players on the bench we're going to talk about that are also good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jerry Jeudy, where Connor goes towards Cortland Sutton. I'm with Barack 100%. Jerry Jeudy, as you can tell on my hat, I should have picked Jerry Jeudy, so nothing means that I should have got the guy. Anyway, all right, thank God this is a mock. All right, so after Jerry Jeudy, the excellent pick of Jerry Jeudy was Dallas Goedert. Then after Dallas Goedert was Jalen Hurts, which that's a really good value for Jalen Hurts in the 7th, the guy who's throwing to both Devontae Smith and throwing to A.J. Brown. Then after Jalen Hurts was Miles Sanders, and then came Connor. Who'd you pick in the 7th, Connor?
Yeah, I had to get my guy. I got Mr. Unlimited himself. I teased it earlier, much to Brian's dismay. Mr. Russell Wilson. So we all went stack here. We all had stacks.
Yeah, it kind of worked out that way. We didn't.
Kind of worked out. We didn't plan that. We didn't discuss it at all, and I love it. And I love all of our stacks. Those are 3 of the stacks that I actually would consider getting this year. That being the Tom Brady, Mike Evans stack, the Justin Herbert, Mike Williams stack, and then the Russell Wilson, Cortland Sutton stack. I'd also do the Russell Wilson, Jerry Jeudy stack. And you know, this like I said, you know, I was able to get 3 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a quarterback. So I have my full starting lineup, and I feel like I have someone who's packing a punch at each position. So I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, and I think out of all those stacks, the hardest one, the one that's probably won't be achievable on draft day, will be Brady, the
Mike Evans.
No. Will be Herbert and Williams. Yeah.
Because he's saying there.
Yeah. It's just I think that Evans and Brady will be able to because of Brady's ADP, and same thing with Russell Wilson. All right, so after Russell Wilson was Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper in the 7th round. Okay. Then after that was Dawson Knox, which is a pretty good pick. He'd had a great year last year. Then after that rounded out the 7th. No real surprises there on the 7th, other than that dumbass TJ Hawkinson pick by me.
Sorry.
Number 8. Yeah, no. This is how you learn. All right, and so round 8 was Buffalo. This is where auto draft people. Okay, this is where you can see where the auto draft comes in, because once you start seeing defenses and kickers being picked, those guys are auto draft. All right, so number 8. Buffalo defense was picked. Move on. After that was Matthew Stafford, which is a pretty good value for Stafford in the round 8. But you probably get him a little bit lower, but that's okay. And then after Stafford was Connor. Who did you pick in round 8, sir?
Yeah, round 8. I believe I went Tony Pollard here. It was either Pollard or Penny. And Barack made the good point about the news, Tony Pollard going into slot. So, yeah, I picked him. I figured, this is my fourth running back. I want some upside. I want a guy that, is a pass-catching threat. And, I feel pretty happy with it.
Yeah,
he could be the
good pick.
surprise that Cordero Patterson was last year.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's a very good comp.
It's a very good comp.
Yeah, after that was Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Candy Bone himself. Yeah, I don't think that's way too high for him. Yeah, dude, that's just that running backfield is going to be a mess with Ronald Jones Jr. and Jerick McKinnon there. After that, here we went through a little spurt of auto drafts. San Francisco defense went, Tampa Bay defense went, whatever, and then it was Brock. Whew, this is an interesting pick. Why'd you pick this dude?
Because he was, if I would have seen Michael Thomas and thought about it more, I would have gone with Michael Thomas. But I picked Devin Singletary because he was still their running back number one, which that means nothing in Buffalo. But frankly, he's still a running back one. So I was like, I could always use another guy that's got this starting job right now, and in a deeper setup on my bench. And so, he might be cool to flex in at some points, or stream somewhere that I need it, based on the matchup. So it's situational. He's a situational play, and I think he's good value in the 8th round.
No, I have to agree with that. And if it turns out that if the rookie that came in, James Cook, actually takes over more, or whatever the case may be, if it doesn't work out, then it's somebody that you can drop, and you're gonna be fine because you already are fine on running back. After Devin Singletary, Zach Ertz, and then came my pick, and then this is the guy that Brock didn't see. Why? Because right now his ADP is like way low, so I had to scroll Brock to get to him. Okay, so I this is only because I draft all the time on Yahoo, that I knew where Michael Thomas was, and that's why you didn't see him, because his ADP is all out of whack. It's going to change. It's going to change when you get closer to your actual draft. But I draft Michael Thomas. I doubt you'll be able to get Michael Thomas in the 8th round, closer to draft time. He looks more like a round 5, round 6 guy, to be honest with you. I think that's where he's going to end up. After Michael Thomas was Gabriel Davis. He rounded off, and I was actually trying to think about between those two, because I like Gabriel Davis now. With the news that Jamison Crowder is missing, he's missing some time in camp because he's already starting to get a little worn out. So I kind of like that more for Gabriel Davis now. I was worried about him before, but not anymore. Round 9. Okay, and it's going to be difficult now to say, what's your biggest surprises, because there's auto drafting going on. So our biggest surprise, why are you picking the defense in round 8? Okay, don't do that. I think we all agree on that. Round 9 started off with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Of course, I would say I would like that guy. Apparently, I love Detroit Lions, but Amon-Ra St. Brown was the guy that helped me win this ring last year. So, I have a special place in my heart for him. But 9th round, okay, that's a good spot for him. Then the next pick was mine. Kareem Hunt was the one that I chose. I needed a running back. I needed a 3rd running back, and he was there. I think we talked earlier about how I feel that Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are going to have great years this year. So I chose the guy that had the lower ADP, Kareem Hunt. So that gives me a 3rd running back on my bench. I was pretty happy about that. After Kareem Hunt was Rashad Penny. Yeah, Rashad Penny. I was actually looking his way, but I still think Kareem Hunt's going to be more valuable than Rashad Penny.
I stay away from everything Seattle right now.
Yeah, I agree. Then after Rashad Penny came Barack's pick. Barack, who did you choose?
Juju Smith-Schuster. And at this level, at this late around, to pick a wide receiver 1, okay, which is the weirdest thing to me, to pick a wide receiver 1 that Patrick Mahomes is throwing to, no Tyreek Hill, I mean, the only like resemblance of a wide receiving core is Mecole Hardman.
And MVS.
You know, and then you got Marquez Valdez-Scantling now in there. But I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster on a good year with Rapelessberger, you know, I mean, he did extremely well. You know, so I don't see how this doesn't play well for Juju Smith-Schuster. I think he's definitely going to, you know, give you a lot of fantasy upside. I mean, the floor is really high for Juju Smith-Schuster. What's his competition? Travis Kelce? That's it.
Well, that's the wide receiver one. Travis Kelce's
I'm
wide
just
receiver.
saying that's his competition. But I'm just saying, you know, that he's designated.
No one's
as a tight
besmirching
end.
the pick. We all think it's a great pick. It's a great value.
But
Yeah.
to get Juju Smith-Schuster this late was kind of beyond me. I was like, how the hell is Juju Smith-Schuster still here?
But hey,
Well,
it was.
it might have been because of the beginning of the offseason, whenever they were starting to plan their strategies. Patrick Mahomes actually said that he's going to be spreading the ball around. You know, so he's not going to pick one guy like he did with Tyreek Hill. And I agree with him. I think that's what he's going to do. And so that's why Juju Smith-Schuster is falling. But yeah, you're right. At this point, you're taking shots on what could be great values. And you got a potential wide receiver one there. Yeah, at least for the team. That's a good. That's why Amon-Ra St. Brown went there.
I see a great, solid, low-end wide receiver 2 in fantasy. Definitely flex. Definitely weekly flex with Juju Smith-Schuster.
That's the same argument for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yes, just
And I like
throwing
Juju
it out
better because he has a cooler name.
Sure. Okay. But Amon-Ra St. Brown has a better resume. Better resume. Yeah.
He sucks. Moving right along.
No, he doesn't. Oh my God.
Just
No way,
let
dude.
me get my bid in. Just let me get my bid.
Okay. As long as
We all
it's a
know.
bid.
We all know it's not serious.
Okay. Number 5 was an auto. Number 5 was auto draft. Was a kicker, Justin Tucker. Do not pick a kicker in the round 9. Yeah.
suck.
Then after that was Tyler Bass, was another kicker. Do not pick a kicker in round 9. Then after that was Rashad Bateman, which is another argument for Juju Smith-Schuster. You know, it's same thing.
He's a league behind because his quarterback is Lamar Jackson.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I give you that, but it's the same as far as opportunity goes. It's the same thing. The wide receiver one is the tight end, and so the next, like,
Right.
quote unquote wide receiver is, you know, Rashad Bateman.
No, he's there because he can block.
Okay. Then after Rashad Bateman, I don't think so. After Rashad Bateman, because if they would have addressed the wide receiver position more aggressively if that was the case. After him was Connor. Connor, who did you choose in round 9?
I went Devontae Smith. Yeah, you know, this is my my backup wide receiver, my contingency plan for Cortland Sutton and Hollywood Brown. And so, you know, it's kind of a late season surge because I'm banking on, sorry, Barack, I'm banking on AJ Brown getting injured. He is injury prone. And, you know, Devontae still has that connection with Jalen Hurts, and I expect him to benefit from that.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good pick. Like one thing that Brock, using Brock's point, he said that, you know, that it's kind of a toss up between AJ Brown and Devonta Smith. Is that right, Brock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
So
the
that
most
I think they're going to have similar years as Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. Obviously, you know, as long as Jalen Hurts' play, you know, continues to improve.
yeah. So yeah, there we go. So not a bad pick. After that was Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon the 9th. That's great value. And then after that, it was an obvious auto draft. Evan McPherson, kicker. Don't pick a kicker in the 9th. In the round 10th. Round 10 started us off with Chase Edmonds, which I think is great value for round 10. You're talking about a potential running back one for the team, a high offense, you know, so good. You shouldn't be worried too much about Mostert. He has trouble being healthy. After that was, again, a defense, Los Angeles Rams, which that might be a little high for the Rams. But then after that was Connor. Connor, talk about who you got.
Hunter Renfrow. Just another, you know, and this is probably my wide receiver that I'm the least excited about. It's just a very safe, you know, consistent, you know, kind of backup wide receiver too.
Yeah, whenever he made the pick, I kind of, you know, about it, you know.
Yeah.
And that was because the next guy is the one I would have chosen, which is Darnell Mooney. And I asked him, oddly enough, I was like, why didn't you choose Darnell Mooney? He says he plays for the Bears. But yet you heard what he said about Montgomery.
Well, no, yeah, I don't want to have a wide receiver and running back both from the same team.
Good idea. Yeah, good idea. Just like you shouldn't have the running back and tight end from the same team if it's the Lions. Yeah, good sound advice. But yeah, Darnell Mooney, I would pick him. Even if I had Montgomery, I still would, because I think that he's going to be the wide receiver. He is the wide receiver one for Chicago.
Yeah, who's next after Darnell Mooney? Velvet Jones?
Exactly.
Velvet Jones.
Exactly. Nice. Yeah.
I want to be Ho.
Yeah, so he has a lot of opportunity, and as we all know, the thing that's king in fantasy football is opportunity. You know, everybody knows that, and so I think he's going to have a lot more opportunity than Hunter Renfrow, who has to worry about Darren Waller, has to worry about
right.
Devontae
That's
Adams,
probably the worst pick.
Josh Jacobs.
I'll admit that's the worst pick of my draft.
Okay. Well, I'm just throwing. I'm not poo-pooing on it. I'm just telling you.
No,
that.
I am. I'm taking a shit on it.
Okay,
I'm
well,
lighting
yeah.
it on fire, and I'm putting it on the door of the version of me that thought it was a good idea.
Okay, well, I converted somebody this episode, so yay me, hallelujah. Okay, so after you have the same thoughts on that, Brock? Anything you want to throw in on Darnell Mooney?
Light another bag of shit. And
I already said. I mean, Velvet Jones is the wide receiver too, so.
Okay, all right. After Darnell Mooney was Ramondre Stevenson. That's great value in round 10. There's been talk he's been taking stats with the one team, you know, so he might actually be something that's going to push Damian Harris off his pedestal. So I like that pick of Stevenson, especially since that's probably his fourth or fifth running back. After that is Kenneth Walker, who likes to go by Ken, so I don't know why they have Kenneth, but whatever. But that's a Seattle running back, and I think it's going to be a show agreement. I think the whole show is going to agree right now to stay away from Seattle. I think that's just how we all feel. But then came Barack. Barack, who did you choose on your 10th round?
Well, Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen. Got more than a Thielen. That's nice. Nice. Yeah, why is that?
Because anybody want to finish that for me? I got a Thielen. Woo!
Oh, I see.
Yeah, sorry. I just had to finish that.
Okay.
I don't know,
so you chose him so you could sing?
Yeah, that was the value there.
Okay, no, I would say that the value is that Justin Jefferson spoke about it when he said that the offense was going to be going more run heavy or wide receiver heavy, and so that's another reason why Irv Smith is a good value. He's a good reception.
He's older. He's coming off injury. I think he's still got a lot of tread on him. He's good value for 10th round.
Yeah. There's already like a connection between Cousins and Thielen. So yeah, I think that was a really good pick on your part. The fact that he fell to 10. Yeah, the fact that he fell to the 10th is crazy. After Thielen was Ronald Jones Jr. Yeah, so he went after Candy Bone. So that's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And so, take your point. I mean, okay, fine. You know, round 10, sure. That's a good spot for Ronald Jones Jr., sure. Guy has pan hands, you know, but sure. I mean, he's going to take the goal line work, so why not?
But also, at the same time, it's a shit pick, and the guy that did it's dog water.
The next pick was a pick I like in the 10th round. You know, James Cook. That is the rookie running back for the Buffalo Bills. He is the brother of, yes, Mr. Cook himself.
Dalvin Cook.
Yes, Dalvin Cook. Yes, so he's a receiving back, and that's what they've been needing. And so I think that I sure don't want to pick the guy who's going to be doing goal lines because I didn't want to say this, Brock, but I'll say it now that the goal line back for the Buffalo Bills is Josh Allen. Yes, yeah. Yeah, so you want to get the receiving back.
Man, he was gone.
Yeah,
He goes pretty
so-
early. He's a pretty good value for running back and quarterback.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. There's an argument to take him even higher than where he's going. So
I disagree.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could see it because
Good spot for him.
Yeah,
it'll be
fourth round's a good
consistent
spot.
numbers. Josh Allen will be giving consistent numbers enough to equal higher than fourth round value. Because once the draft's over, you'll be like, man, that guy was a second round pick. But no, he's cool. So James Cook, that's why I went after. It's my fourth running back, I think, at this point. So yeah, he's just bench depth at this point. So I kind of like taking a shot on that guy there. Love the lineage. After that was Chris Godwin. I don't know. Is Chris Godwin, guys, just real quick? Is he draftable, Brock? Is he draftable? Should you draft
It's
Chris
fine
Godwin?
at that.
I mean, and this late, sure, maybe. I mean, maybe he gets healthy by this. It's healthy enough, and he puts together enough momentum in the season, where he is valuable to just sit on your bench. But I don't know that there's enough room for somebody who's going to start on the pup or even start injured.
Well,
so
Yeah.
it's just he's not going to play game one. Okay, I don't think he's going to play game one. I mean, he's going to be a good option later in the year, and I don't think drafting him is what you need to do with Godwin right now. I think that was auto draft or a Tampa Bay fan.
The argument I would say to that is that if your league has an IR spot, then you can draft him, stick him in your IR, and then go for whoever you think did not get drafted. And so you start the league, you start your season off with one more player than everybody else.
On IR, put him on IR. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
So-
the move.
Yeah, that's the move for that guy. So I could
Yeah.
I could see drafting him in the 10th round. So yeah, the number 11, Cordero Patterson.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't.
That guy did me well last year. He was a surprise pickup after the draft. I
No,
picked
he
him
did
up
good.
week one. I picked him up off the waivers, and freaking, he was one of my.
No, bro,
my most
he did good. No, I'm not discrediting what
But
he did
now
last
that
year, but
it's changed. Yeah, it's changed.
he's too old, bro. He's too old.
not that
He's
he's
gonna
old.
break down.
365 days later is not going to change what his performance ability, but I think the quarterback play is. So that's why I think that.
No,
value
well,
for him.
because me and Brian are in agreement on this. He broke down from that workload he got last year, so he's not going to get that workload again. That's what
And
I
they-
mean. Yeah.
And they
I
signed
get-
They signed Damian Williams. Yeah. So
And they
that-
drafted Drake London, so they're bringing
right.
in they're bringing in as above so below options to replace Cordero Patterson.
Right. So after Patterson was my pick, and with the 11th round, second pick of the 11th round, I chose Trey Lance. Yeah, quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, because I wanted to make sure to get a backup quarterback, because last year I
And a
did not
backup
do that.
sack.
And yeah, and COVID killed me, man. Even though I mean, just that, and then also Rogers' toe killed me. So yeah, I just want to have two good running backs or quarterbacks, and I think Trey Lance did well. And like Connor said, it was a happy accident that became a backup stack of Deebo Samuels and Trey Lance. And that's another one. I don't think I'll be able to get Trey Lance in the 11th round come draft time. He's going to go like in the 8th. Yeah, or 7th. Yeah, I think he's going to jump way up there. So this will probably be the only time I'd be able to do that anyway. Why not enjoy it?
I think you got him right where he's supposed to go.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he's going to go up higher though. His ADP is going to climb through the roof whenever actual drafts start happening. It's just my opinion.
All right.
After Trey Lance was Indianapolis defense. Which is okay, I guess. 11th round. And then came Brock. Brock, who did you choose with the fourth pick of the 11th round?
I call it trade bait, or a really good option to stream Dak Prescott.
Good pick.
Okay,
Good backup quarterback.
I mean, Tom Brady is not foolproof, but he is definitely my QB1. Dak Prescott, getting Dak Prescott in the 11th round in a 10-man league That's lights out. I mean, that's a lot of people's first guy.
Good value.
Yeah, it's great value, and another guy that's probably going to climb out of the 11th come draft time. After him was Elijah Moore, wide receiver for the Jets, which, okay, that's
Good pick.
fine,
I like
whatever.
that pick.
Yeah. After that was Brandon Ayuk, which
I don't like
what
that
news,
pick.
Good fight today.
what news did we learn?
He's
as
struggling in practice, and he got in the fight today.
Oh, why'd you break Brock's news,
Oh,
dude?
shit.
That was
No, man,
Yeah.
it's not my news. I broke it earlier, but
Yeah.
no. That's
Yeah.
the truth, though. You got into a fight today, and
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
What
let it be known that I was
No,
that
Brock did.
I
Yeah, it was
said
like-
Brock. I said Brock. What
You
happened?
did?
said it like 2 years
Oh.
ago. Yeah, it was
I
like 2
didn't-
years ago.
I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
I tried to give it to you, Brock. So let it be
How
known.
long
I
this
tried to give
podcast is going? It's been 2 years since I said that Ayuk got into a fight.
it. After Ayuk was the guy that I was struggling with, between Trey Lance and this guy, which is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers in the 11th round is insane value. Another guy I think is going to climb out of the 11th, maybe to the 10th or 9th, but still out of the 11th. After that was the Wookiee, Connor. Who did you pick after Aaron Rodgers went in the round 11?
Yeah, well, in round 11, originally I actually wanted to get the chart. I wanted to get the. I think I got James Robinson. because I got James Robinson because that was my pick after Hunter Renfrow. So now I
Nope.
had
Wrong. You got Alan Lazard. Yeah.
Oh, I got Lazard. Oh, that must have got him. Okay, so I got Lazard. Yeah, I wanted to get another wide receiver prospect because
Set it up, dude. I was like,
Yeah.
right after Aaron Rodgers. Who did you? Anyway.
No, you're right. I'm dropping. That's 2 dimes in a row you've thrown, and I've dropped it. Much like Alan Lazard dropped many of the dimes that Aaron Rodgers threw his way, which is the reason why he's going so low.
Well, Aaron Rodgers has talked very highly. He trusts Lazard, so if you're going to pick a wide receiver on that team, I think that's the guy I would pick, especially since their rookie wide receiver is
It's
hurt
the
right now.
11th round,
Yeah,
This is my,
Watson.
This is my 5th
Yeah.
guy.
Watson's on the PUP list, so yeah, and that's a lot bigger whenever there's a vet on a PUP list than a rookie on a PUP list, because that's huge.
Wasn't it Devontae Adams that convinced Aaron Rodgers to re-sign with the with the Packers? And now Devontae Adams is not even there. Okay, and there we have Aaron Rodgers sitting with his dick in his hand. Seriously, just like I could have been with another team right now.
Could have been Denver. Could have been Denver.
Could have been the Raiders.
Yeah. No.
He wanted AFC West. That's
Could've been
all
the
I know.
Bucs,
He wanted
maybe.
somewhere in the West.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he wanted to go to Denver. I know that. Yeah, he talked about going to Colorado until he got paid.
So
After
I predict a riot when Green Bay faces the Raiders if they face. It's gonna be every man for himself. It'll be like watching the Roman
Yeah.
the gladiator fights in the Colosseum.
Oh my God.
So
Okay.
So what happened
It's gonna be
after
blood.
After
There
Lazard
will be blood, and after Lazard, what happened?
was Daniel Carlson. Yeah, which I think is a good value pick. Yeah, he finished as the top kicker last year, so now he's got a better offense. So yeah, good pick there. After him, Tyler Lockett, which probably should. I guess I'm thinking he's undraftable, but whatever.
Yeah,
take a
I
shot.
think he's undraftable, but take a shot.
Yeah. Number 12 was Pat Freiermuth, and even though he's injured, somebody decided to pick him, which okay. And yeah, then after that was
you're a Steelers fan.
yeah, exactly. After that was D-Hop. Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, why would you pick somebody who's going to be suspended
We
for
get
half
it.
the,
You have a D-Hop jersey.
right, exactly. That's another roster clog.
Sort of a later round, okay? It's a later round. I mean, he's gonna still
Roster
play.
clog, man. Roster clog.
No, not D-Hop, because you can put him on the IR.
No, you can't put DeAndre Hopkins on the IR. He's suspended for steroid use, man.
Oh, fuck, you're right. It is a roster clause.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no way I would like to have that for half the year. After that,
You have to see that guy's team and the way it shakes out to see if DeAndre Hopkins made sense at round 12. So,
okay. Yeah, but it's gonna take you half the fantasy season to figure it out. Yeah, that's rough. So after D Hop was Connor. Connor, who did you pick? I hope you remember this time.
I got James Robinson for my 12th pick.
The guy that's being listed on the depth chart right now as the RB1 in
Yes.
Jacksonville.
So this is my 4th running back. So I have fifth running back. And what I view is solid depth, solid potential. You know, I have 3 guys that I think are top 5, and then the other 2 on my 5 do have running back 1 potential in their own rights. Tony Pollard gets there kind of, being this year's Cordell Patterson. And then James Robinson just is more as a traditional RB1. And it's pick 12, so I feel really good about it in case someone gets injured or, I have a bye week and I need to put someone in.
Well, yeah, it's also pick 12, so if he doesn't work out, then you can just, move on.
I can divest.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, he's low enough to where you don't have to get too much into him. After Robinson was the Rams kicker Matt Gay. Yeah, that's that's a fine spot.
He's a pretty straight edge kind of guy.
Yeah, right. After him was Kirk Cousins, which is great value for Kirk Cousins, round 12. After Kirk Cousins, Michael Carter, running back for the Jets, the one that makes me nervous about Breece Hall. Mm-hmm. And then after Michael Carter was Barack, which admittedly I was looking at this guy he chose in round 12,
Me
and
too.
so that's why I pivoted.
Christian Kirk at this round. I mean, it's a late round. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't look his way. He's listed as the wide receiver 1, and if that's where they're going to look, wide receiver 1, then I mean, I'll hope that Trevor Lawrence under a new regime is going to be able to perform better, coached better, and hopefully Christian Kirk in this later round is the beneficiary of that regime change and a young quarterback.
Well, the contract says they're going to be throwing his way, so yeah, that's a great pick in round 12. Yeah, potential wide
Great
receiver. Pick. Yeah, strong wide receiver. Yeah, and like you said, he's a potential wide receiver 1 if it all comes together. Yeah, Lawrence looks good. Man, he looked good.
Option, and whoever the hell Zay Jones is,
come on, man.
He's nobody.
Yeah,
I clearly think. I mean, he's got a great name, Zay, but still, Christian Kirk, then Marvin Jones, just makes sense. Marvin Jones is a huge drop off. After. I mean, listen, I'm not.
He's a good wide receiver too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you with.
I think he's probably more along the lines again of a flex play in regular draft or regular leagues, PPR. He's a good.
I'm not saying he's a wide receiver 2 for your fantasy team. I meant he's a wide receiver 2 on the football team.
I mean, they're
I think he's wide receiver 1.
He's wide receiver 1 on that team.
Wait, not Christian Kirk.
No, Christian Kirk is wide receiver 1.
Yeah, he's the wide receiver 1. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the other guy is a wide receiver 2.
Yeah, so I mean, at this round, clearly it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great choice, and I think Christian Kirk does have the potential to be a wide receiver 1 if it truly was the coaching that was limiting Trevor Lawrence, because he looked like he had the skills, but it looked like he just was all over the place, and I want to attribute that to the coaches. Let's see if it gets fixed. Yeah, with a good pedigreed coach behind him. After Kirk, confusing pick, Russell Gage. I think he's kind of undraftable now that Julio Jones is aboard. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's
Agreed.
Just too volatile, man. You just don't know when he's going to hit, unless there's like an injury to Mike Evans and whatever. But you never know. He does get hurt. Whatever.
It's a long-term play. It's a stash for the year because what you're banking on is the fact that one thing he has that none of the other guys have is he doesn't have a history of getting injured. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Julio Jones, they're all injury-prone now, and Russell Gage isn't.
That's right. So the next pick after Russell Gage was mine, and I chose this one. I just decided to go defense. I chose Denver. Reason why is I didn't think that he would be there, or Denver would be there, because they have the number 1 best, softest schedule for a defense. I know, even though they're in the division they're in, they're statted out as having the easiest schedule for a defense. So that's basically what I'm using as a barometer for my defenses. And so I grabbed them. Of course, wearing the hat. I gotta get a piece of Denver somewhere. That's where I got it. After that was Derek Carr.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. It was a good moment for me. After Derek, Derek Carr is a good backup quarterback in round 12, so good job there. After Derek Carr was Mike Gesicki, tight end for the Dolphins. Which there's What do you think, Connor? Do you think that was a good pick? Yeah, I'll
it's
ask
good
you.
value. It's a good value. It's a good place to get him.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I know that you earlier in the offseason you were like, man, no, Gesicki's my man. Gesicki's my man. I guess that's changed then, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, if Schultz is there, if Schultz is there in the 6, I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to take him because I was figuring you were going to him in the 5th.
No, I changed.
Yeah,
because I want Herbert.
Changed. Yeah, because you really want the stack. So,
but dude, if stuff goes
changes, I'm back on Gesicki. He's my fall plan. But honestly, I might just go like Hunter Henry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the next pick of the second pick of the 13th round was the tight end that I'm actually going to be going with, and this is round where I'm going to be picking him is Cole Kmet. I'm a big fan of him. He's no longer has Jimmy Graham to worry about, and I think that he's going to just do well. It's Darnell Mooney and Cole Kmet. That's the receiving core for the Chicago Bears, and I think that as far as the tight end position goes, Cole Kmet's going to hit what I need, and it's going to allow me to grab all the stuff that I want to grab early. If things don't go left and I end up having to pick Dalton Schultz because all the value guys are gone, in the 5th round, it could happen. You never know. What's that?
I think you're fucked.
Oh, with Cole Kmet?
Yes.
Okay, dude. I would love to hear your apology at the end of the year. I'd love to hear it, dude. Yeah.
Can't wait.
Okay, after Cole Kmet was Drake London, and plus, dude, is in the 13th round. It's
But that's
good
just
value.
starting tight ends, right?
Yeah, it's tight end, and
that's where Brock's coming from. Brock's a big invest on tight end guy.
Oh, there you go. Well, if you look at your numbers of what everybody did in the league, the lowest scoring position in the whole roster is tight end. So that's why I'm kind of like backing off on tight end.
That's very true, but here's the thing. I've studied the leagues I've been in, and I've studied the guys that win, and usually one of the guys in the championship has one of the best tight ends. They have a stud tight end, and there's generally like a couple.
In our league, it was George Kittle against Gerald Everett on Seattle, and the guy with George Everett won.
Let me just tell you, dude, Cole Kmet last season only got 600 yards.
But
and that's a lot for a receiver or a tight end, but he got no touchdowns.
I've also won with Mark Andrews, Brian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did. You lost with him too. Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham was there.
I didn't lose
dude.
a championship with him.
Yeah. Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham was there, dude, and that's a different regime, dude. So I'm not worried about it. I understand what you're saying. This is the position I'm kind of mailing in is basically the tight end position, and I think that Cole Kmet is going to have a great year. I really do, dude. It's just a different situation. He's not going to have much competition for targets. It just seems like a good spot for me, especially in the 13th round. After Cole Kmet was Drake London, the aforementioned wide receiver for Atlanta. Then after that was Brock. Brock, talk about this. Talk about what happened in the 13th round on this pick.
I got auto-drafted a defense.
I wanted this defense.
The Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, and what was funny was that whenever it happened, Connor says, "Dang it, that's a great pick. That's who I wanted in this round." And Brock just auto drafted just a really good defense. yeah, that's great. That's insane.
I looked at it. I was like, okay. I clicked on Alexander Madison, and I knew I didn't want Alexander Madison. But I guess at this point, round 13 makes a lot of sense to just go with a an average run-of-the-mill defense. It's not going to let you down. You know what I mean? So
Kind
they're
of.
sort of in the middle. They sort of are right in the middle as it relates to defenses. They're good. They're not terrible.
You want to take this, Connor? I mean, okay, they upgraded, dude. They upgraded their defense. Yeah,
they did, but yeah, he'll. I'm confident Brock will figure it out before the season starts because.
All right.
The Cliff Notes, they have 2 really good pass rushers now. They have Khalil Mack and one of the Bosa brothers. That's going to be special.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're going to have...
Historically, when Khalil Mack comes into a team, they have good defensive years.
I'm just saying that there are certainly better defenses that I could have accidentally auto-drafted.
I don't think at that point. I think that was the best one available by far.
Yeah, they have a great offense.
I'm not trying to besmirch anything you're saying.
If I was looking for a defense, which, you mean...
You mean like going earlier? Well, I mean, yeah, there's defenses you could have gone earlier for.
I'm just looking at the way shit fell to me. Yeah. But like if my strategy was to try to get a good defense in round 11,
yeah.
I would have not looked at LA.
But we're talking about the 13th.
Yeah, for this position.
Yeah.
And to be autographed at that, yes, absolutely, that works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have a great offense, and what they're going to do is that they're going to force a lot of teams to have to pass it. They're going to get behind a lot, and that makes them one-dimensional, and that's great for fantasy defenses, man. That's sacks, that's interceptions. It's great. It's great stuff. After the Chargers was Albert Awegabunam. So yeah, dude, the tight end for
Good
Denver,
job.
he did. Yeah, thank you. And then after him was Alexander Madison, the guy that Brock was looking in that. Then after Alexander Madison was New Orleans Saints, which actually some people are saying is a really good defense, considering that the new head coach is a defensive-minded head coach, and they really beefed up their defense. So that might actually been a really good pick.
I heard he's so enthusiastic. He's actually gonna offer players money if they can injure one of the other players.
Oh,
I think he's gonna fit right in.
Sounds like a great strategy.
Sounds like something that they've never done.
No,
I don't. Okay, I'm not on board with any of that stuff that just happened. I'm out of that thing. But so let's move on.
But they did
to
do
the next pick. The next pick, which is Connor's pick. Go for it. Who did you pick, Connor?
Oh God, I think I picked the Bengals defense.
Yes, that's right. You picked the Bengals defense. Yeah. And what did you say? You were going for lightning or thunder or something?
I said I'm doing it because they're cool. I'm chasing the hype.
Okay.
I'm chasing the cloud.
Chase not. Okay. Well, it's at this point, Cincinnati's there. I think Dallas defense is there, who has the 4th easiest schedule, and they have a really good defense. So
yeah, I'm avoiding them for pride reasons, but that is probably on paper and theoretically a better decision than the Bengals.
Okay.
I'm really banking on their coolness carrying them.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, at this point, dude, this is one of the best things you can do is about picking a defense late.
It's one of my more free-forming gut theories. It's not.
Well, you're not married to it. So let's say if the first week they don't do what you think it is, you can drop them and move on. These people that are drafting like defenses like in round 8, they're like, no, I drafted them in round 8, so I must keep them. And so it's actually a good strategy. So if that's what you think, then that's what you think. I can't really poo-poo on you that much when they're going against the Steelers, going against the Ravens. So the Browns. That's not a bad division to pick on. Then after that was Donovan Peoples-Jones, the wide receiver for Cleveland. Okay, that's fine. I think he's untrackable, but whatever. Yeah. Then after that was Darrell Henderson Jr. Yeah, the guy that
decent
everybody. Yeah, that believes Sean McVay that he has 2 starting running backs,
which is not true at all.
Nope, that's correct. Yeah, he's banking on Akers getting hurt again, I guess. After that. The same guy picked Tua Tagovailoa as his backup quarterback. Yeah, in the 14th. Yeah, why not? Take a shot. Then after that was Marlon Mack, the starting running back for the Houston Texans. So that's a pretty good value to get a starting running back in the round 14. So how long he'll last, who knows? But hey, good start. The number 14, 14th pick, third pick of the 14th round. That fell to Connor. Connor, who did you pick?
I picked Harrison Butker, the kicker for the Chiefs, and it was cool, man. I liked it.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah. I
good
don't know why
value.
he fell way too.
Sometimes
late,
he does that to me, and you're like, man, he went way too fucking low.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's a good value there especially for a kicker. I mean, he was last year. He was like I think the second kicker taken.
And
He
they're
was
going to be
Justin-
kicking a lot of field goals this year.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. So yeah, I think that was a great pick. Any thoughts on that? Brock, is Brock still alive? Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Just want to get his voice in, so the listeners know he's alive.
Whoa.
Okay, he's alive. All right. So
And a plane with supplies.
yeah. So after Harrison Butker was Hunter Henry, and that was the tight end that
Good pick, good pick.
Connor's looking at, which is good. Yeah, he's normally the red zone guy that Mac Jones looks at. After that was Irv Smith Jr. Big Irv. Yeah,
Big
another
Irv.
good pick. Mm-hmm. Then after Irv Smith was Trevor Lawrence. Then came
Good pick.
Barack's pick. Brock, who did you choose in the 14th round?
A kicker, Young Wei Koo.
Young Wei.
I don't believe that this team is going to be very efficient with moving the ball into the end zone, much less the red zone. And I think Young Wei Koo is given a lot of opportunity to score a lot of points in this year.
Nice.
Good,
Yeah, why
good
not?
strategy. Good strategy.
And-
Really good value.
And he kicks in a dome, which is weather controlled, which is always a
Half
good
of
thing.
the year, yes, you're going to get an amazing accuracy.
And
Yep.
sometimes he's playing in an opponent's dome, so it also.
Well, right, but at least half the games will be in a dome, which is
Yeah.
good.
Because don't the
Yeah.
Saints play in his own dome too? So that's at least 2 other
Yep,
dome
yep,
games.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice one.
Kansas. After that was Kansas City defense, and then my pick. I decided to go with Robert Woods. Yeah, the wide receiver for Tennessee. I figured, hey, Traylon Burks is having little issues with asthma, and getting up to speed. Even though reports out of camp are positive for him, but you always hear positive reports like that. But Robert Woods is some guy that is a veteran, and I think he's going to do well, at least for a PPR. If not, he's round 14. I can cut him, no big deal. After Robert Woods was Dallas's defense. That rounded off the 14th round. Last round, everybody. 15th round. The top of the 15th went Matt Prater for a kicker. And then after that was mine, which is I decided to pick Will Lutz. Yeah, I just think that people forgot about Dre, man. He was out last year, and then now he's back. He's healthy, and he's gonna be kicking in a dome for at least half his game. So, and like Brock said, I'm not sure how many points that this New Orleans Saints are going to be able to score. So he's going to be kicking a lot in a dome. So I think it was a good pick. At least that's what I keep telling myself. After that was Nick Folk, and then came Brock's last pick of the draft. Brock, who did you choose?
Chase Claypool.
Why?
I mean, he's listed as a wide receiver 2, but I mean, he's a veteran now, and he can only add value to whoever is about to play quarterback for Pittsburgh. I mean, whether that be Trubisky hangover or the rookie that they picked up, whatever his damn name is, who didn't get drafted at all. I just think he can still stretch the field. And in the last round, I mean, Chase Claypool's still there. Why not?
Yeah, right. You're taking shots. Why not take the shot? Yeah. After that was Green Bay's defense. Then after Green Bay was New England's defense. Then after New England's defense was Baltimore's defense. And then came Connor's last pick. What was your pick?
I picked Devontae Parker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why is that?
This is the last pick of the draft, and he could be the wide receiver 1 on his team, so it's a shot in the dark. But hey, it's a pretty
There
good
you go.
15th round
There-
pick.
So, yep, exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah, good value. Good value. After Devontae Parker was Matt Ryan, and the last pick of our draft was Philadelphia's defense. That rounded off our draft. So, fellas, let's go ahead and talk about our teams. We're not going to analyze our teams. We're just going to go ahead and just talk about what our teams were. Okay. Yeah. We're all kind of like, we pushed through a lot today. You went through a lot of news.
I think we learned. Yeah, I think the other episodes won't be coming in on 3 hours, but
Nice.
it's we covered a lot. Joe Rogan doesn't have shit on Shoot the Gap. We are the #1 podcast, period, because of what we can do for both fantasy football and news. He still beats
Paul
us.
McCartney concert, man.
Exactly, because we're rock stars.
Okay.
And we all agree we're never gonna do a show this long again, ever. Pinky promise. But I'm really proud. No, I'm not. But I'm really proud of what we've done.
It wasn't 3 hours, dude. We started 3 hours because of the draft.
No,
We didn't start
I'm looking at
recording.
at OBS and it says 2 hours and 38 minutes.
Okay,
So about
so, yeah.
240, so almost 3 hours.
Okay.
Let me put it this way: someone could have watched almost all of The Dark Knight.
so that was
Got it, nice.
yeah. So that was our draft. That was our first mock draft of the season. Okay, so now you got to hear exactly why we chose the guys we chose, and I think Connor might be putting up on the screen
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so you can see what it was.
Time.
Yeah, we don't have to run it down. So now everybody sees that. So on behalf of Connor, the Gut Marshall, Brock the Commissioner Geen, and me, your humble MC, Brian the Amigo Baldwin, well, I thank you for watching, and we hope that this year is an even better year than the last. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, since you get all types of information. You'll get deep analysis as you have, and if you've hung with us this long, then you guys are awesome.
You guys are the real MVPs.
Yeah. So let's do this for the parting shot. Give one tip for our viewers for going into the draft. What will help them in their draft? Brock, let's start with you.
Don't get hung up by analysis paralysis, okay? Because you see what it'll do. It'll make you spend 3 hours doing a podcast, okay? So don't get hung up on analysis paralysis. Go with your gut, as Mr. Connor does, all right? And a lot of times that can pay off. There is a lot of good news, a lot of good information within all the detail. Sometimes that detail, you can get bogged down in it. Don't get bogged down in it. Don't get analysis paralysis. Sometimes especially in those later rounds, just go with your gut. If you've done your homework, then you're going to know, and the winds and the force will lead you the right way. So there.
Connor.
I am one with the force, and the force is with me, and all that good stuff, and it may be with you and you as well. But I appreciate that, Barack, and I'm gonna hold fast to. Actually, what's funny is B-Funk Brian, the Amigo Baldwin, has been telling me that this year, and this is something that I used to say. He used to make fun of me for saying, because he used to say it every episode. But stay water, as Bruce Lee says, and I think that's really hey, come on.
All right, yeah, that's like his go-to like advice. Yeah, but that's he's running on fumes.
That's good advice. It's a well you can always go to. It's like it's something that I can safely say, and it's not gonna be like, you were an idiot, you were wrong. But if you want some hot takes, you need to be investing in Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, as well as Hollywood Brown and Allen Robinson, because they are all extreme values for wide receivers, and you should draft as many of them as you can.
My advice would be, don't be afraid to draft someone ahead of their ADP. Keep in mind, everybody, that once the season starts, it doesn't matter what round you got your players. Just that they're producing. So if there's somebody that you want, don't be afraid to go a round ahead, just to go and get them, or maybe even 2 rounds if you really, really want them. Because once your season starts again, it doesn't matter what round that you're in. And just for the record, guys, I drive in the past 2 weeks, or coming up on this Friday, I'm going to be driving a lot. I drove a lot last Friday, and I would love to listen to a 3-hour podcast, okay? That would have totally helped me out, okay, on my drive,
You
okay?
can listen to this podcast on your way to Dallas this coming Friday. You're probably going to learn a lot from both Connor and I. Not just
I
you.
think so. I might actually win another ring. We'll see what happens.
Not if I have anything to do about it.
So, okay. All right, everybody. Let's go with the last line. Remember, everyone, and fantasy football, as in life.
Don't dream it. Be it.
Yeah. Thank you for watching, everybody. It's here. Yeah.
That's what she said.